The rain has gone away. Some championship baseball on the docket today as Bethesda Big Train take on the Alexandria Aces for Game 1 of the CRCBL Championship Series. And boy, do we have a great matchup in store. Take a look as the tarp is off the field now, and we're ready for some baseball. Hello, everyone. A pleasant good evening to you, whoever it may be, and welcome to Big Train TV. Tyler Gallo and Ben Povich here with you on Big Train TV tonight for the Game 1 of the Championship Series of the Cal Ripken League. And Ben, what a night for baseball it is. There was some rain in the air before, but it's cleared out, and what a night.
Just above 85 degrees, a little bit cloudy and hazy here at Povich Field, but as you said, no rain today. Fantastic night for some championship-level baseball, as you said, Tyler.
Yeah, it really is, and who else would you want on the bump but a guy that has that big game mentality than Jake Eddington. Jake Eddington, really, this season, his ERAs have been inflated by his bad start. His one start where he had just gotten off the airplane, came down and gave up 7 runs to these very Alexandria Aces. But after that, he's been rock solid, Ben.
Yeah, and I think he's a perfect guy to send to the bump here tonight to start off this best-of-3 championship series. A guy that wants to show that he can be that sort of high-level leverage starter for South Colangelo and eventually for the Alabama team that he plays for regularly, and a chance to go out there and avenge, as you said, probably his worst outing of the season here in Game 1.
Happens to be the only time that Alexandria defeated the Big Train this year, and behind the dish tonight is a guy we haven't seen behind the dish since they were lacking in some bodies, and that's Matt Thomas, who's catching tonight. I mean, we've seen him play everywhere. He's behind the dish and doing battle with Jake Eddington for the first batter. For the Alexandria Aces is Justin Kinsella, the center fielder. Here's the first pitch from Eddington. He squares the bunt. He pulls it back. It's a ball outside, and we're underway. 7 o'clock on the dot here at Povich Field. So Eddington, once again, really just trying to maneuver past a lineup that has really just afflicted him in that one game. But after that, he's been in command, say, as he blows a fastball by on a swing and a miss for Kinsella. And there is strike 1.
Yeah, I feel like we may mention that one start a few times throughout this broadcast, but I should remind you that was a long time ago, way back in mid-June in the Aces' first trip here to Povich Field.
And Eddington is just bringing it here. 2 quick strikes and fanning Kinsella. Anthony Migliaccio is on deck, the left fielder. Kinsella leading off tonight for Alexandria. Here is the pitch. The 1-2 offering from Eddington. Grounded right past the glove of Eddington, but second baseman Pepe fires first in time. And there's out number 1. Rocco Pepe at second base for the first time this season. And he gets a play right away. It'll find you, Ben.
It will find you. It found Pepe there, and he did a good job of hoovering that up. As you said, a couple defensive switches with Thomas behind the dish and Pepe out there at second base. We'll get somebody having a cramp or something, I think, down the first base line towards the bullpen. Trainer is going to quickly go out there to check.
Never fun to get said cramps, but take a look at the Alexandria lineup. Take a look at Kinsella, Migliaccio, Farquhar, Zmarzlak, Catula, Offshack, Morgan, Stone, Kelly, and then, of course, on the mound, Nate Young tonight. This is a lineup that has given the Big Train some fits in the past, but the Big Train have been just up for the challenge, and they've silenced them.
Yeah, the last few matchups between these teams have been a little uneven, so to say. You look back at the first matchup in Alexandria, 5-2 victory, one of the only save opportunities for this Big Train bullpen staff. And since then, the Big Train were really able to pull away from the Aces in the couple games that they played. Of course, last one got canceled due to some official snafus. But we'll see how competitive this best-of-3 series turns out to be.
Very true, Ben, and as we wait for things to happen, we'll talk a little bit about Jake Eddington. So after that first start, he has just settled in, and he hasn't allowed, I don't think, more than 4 runs in a start, except for those 6-run outing. That really wasn't his fault. It was a lot of brain cramps and a lot of just mistakes in that inning that led to those 6 runs, and those were the only 6 runs of that game.
Yeah, and Eddington really does have solid stuff. Again, a workhorse as a freshman this past season at Alabama, and looking to put his best stuff on the bump here in Game 1.
Migliaccio stands in, number 1. Went around on a swing where he just got tied up by Eddington. When Eddington's going right, that fastball's pumping in there, and he's got the off-speed and breaking stuff working, and it was working right there. Strike 1 to Migliaccio. Jake Eddington heading into his sophomore year. Doniphan, Missouri native, very small town in Missouri. Is his strike 2 there. You know, he was speaking to the Alexandria staff, and they were asking where he's from, and he said, it's about 3 hours outside of St. Louis. So, Donovan, Missouri native. Here's the 0-2 in there. Strike 3 called. There is strikeout number 1 for Jake Eddington, and really just does quick work for Migliaccio there.
Dominant at bat there against Migliaccio for Eddington, showing off the range of his pitches, the command that he's going to need if he wants to get off to a hot start here for the Big Train pitchers.
Donovan's population is about just a shade under 2,000. Of course, home to the Eddington family.
Smaller than my high school.
Interesting. Here is the first pitch now to the 3-hitter, Garrett Farquhar, who takes a strike, and Eddington has got stuff working today.
Yeah, a little SEC on SEC action here. Auburn Tiger at the plate.
Couple of Auburn guys.
Tied pitcher on the mound.
Right, a couple of Auburn guys there. Farquhar swings and misses. There's strike 2 there. And Eddington, boy, does he look good here in this first inning. See how Nate Young responds. Bobby's Marslack would be next. Maryland Terrapin. I'm sure our boy Dylan Spilko would appreciate that. And the 0-2 to Farquhar. Hit high and foul down the right field side. No one's going to get to that. Defensive alignment for the Big Train. Foster, Johnson, and Cone left to right in the outfield. Shanuel, Torres, Pepe, Alderman, and Thomas in the infield, and Eddington on the mound. First time we've seen Pepe at second, and the first time in a long time we've seen Matt Thomas behind the dish.
Natural shortstop Rocco Pepe, but he's taking infield all over.
0-2 again. Fouled off.
But Rocco just happy to be back out there working. Got the chance to talk to him up here in the booth a couple nights ago. You can find that on the BigTrain.tv YouTube channel, of course.
Find all of our player interviews on the Big Train TV YouTube channel. So, 0-2 again. Trying to stay alive in this AB is Farquhar. We've seen him put some good efforts at the plate against the Big Train this year, including a resounding 3-run home run early on this season against the relief pitcher of the Big Train, who has chosen not to be discussed about, but cleared the scoreboard, bidding for one of the longest home runs here. Eddington into the windup. He delivers. Tap towards third. Long run over for Shanuel. Long throw to first. Scooped out by Alderman, and that's out number 3. And the Big Train get a 1-2-3 inning from their starter, Jake Eddington. They'll see what they put up for a response in the bottom half of the first. Still 0-0 as we head to that half of the inning here on Big Train TV. As Darius Foster takes the plate for the first batter for the Big Train tonight, we do have a defensive replacement already. We figured out who had the cramps. It was Justin Caselli. He's getting treated And Blake McRae takes over for him in center field. So abbreviated night for Justin Casella in center as the first pitch from Nate Young to Darius Foster's taken. And Nate Young this season, pretty interesting. We'll take a look at his stats this year. Pretty good for the staff. 293, one of the linchpins on this pitching staff as Foster takes up and in 2-0. But as we've seen this season, 2.93 ERA. He struck out 20 in favor of 11 walks. Big Train know how to work counts, and they also know how to make good pitchers look bad.
Yeah, really good strikeout to walk ratio for Young.
Foster cracks one up the right side. Diving stop effort by Kelly, and it gets into right field, and Foster is aboard.
Really tough play to make there for the second baseman. But back on Young for a second. The one thing that interests me about him is he hasn't made a start this season. This is his first start for a game for Alexandria. As you said, really important part of the middle of that Aces bullpen. We'll see how he can adapt to the pressure off the bat. And he's going to have to deal with a runner on base here, a guy who's pretty prolific at looking towards that second base bag.
All-star Darius Foster is aboard, and stepping in, Riley Johnson, who had a night to remember his last time out, was aboard all 5 times, was our player of the game, had an RBI triple, drove in 3 on that play. The runner aboard, Young has a solid pickoff move if he actually makes effort and knows that he's not going back. So we'll see how that involves here with the left-handed pitcher on the mound. Riley Johnson this season has been one of the better players the Big Train have gotten late. He's got those purple gloves for ECU. Was squaring to bunt, but the pickoff try is all for naught.
Saw that a lot for the starting pitcher for DC, as well as the guy who came in to relieve him, Joseph O'Connell. Just constantly throwing over to Foster. As you see, 3 pickoff moves in a row. Before you even go home towards Johnson at the plate, you want to get a guy like Foster, of course, now the career leader in steals for the Bethesda Big Train. Just want to remind him that you're thinking about him.
As he did attempt another bunt but pulled it back. That's the first pitch ball from Nate Young. Young's 2.93 ERA, one of the top on the Aces this year. Aces had a couple of guys from their bullpen in the All-Star game. Of course, Connor Offshack and Markatula were as well. Pulls back the bunt again and takes a strike. Tries the Butcher Boy, potentially, on that play. Matt Thomas due up next. He will be up no matter what in this inning. 1-1 to Johnson. Again squaring. Good bunt. Gets it right in front of the mound. He's going to look at second and just fire to first. And it's a good sacrifice bunt there for Riley Johnson to get Foster over to third, who probably didn't really need a sacrifice bunt to get over to second. And Matt Thomas with a chance to drive a runner in.
You don't want to take any risks when you have a guy checking on you 3 times before he even goes to the plate with the pickoff move. And you put a runner in scoring position here for the ever-dangerous catcher tonight, as you've talked about, Matt Thomas.
Matt Thomas, probably one of the fastest catchers you'll see. He can move all over the place, play in the outfield, play in the infield.
Just an overall versatile guy.
Although does profile
key
as
pieces you love to have.
Profiles as a second baseman. Taking low ball 1. Had some adventures at second base in the last game, though. It's a position that he hadn't played too much, and then when Rocco Pepe was injured, he came in and filled in nicely as Sean Newell slotted over at third. But Pepe's back in and at second base. Here's the pitch. And that's ripped into center field. Heading over for it is a dive and a nice catch there in center field by Blake McRae. Welcome to the game, Blake, as Foster tags and hits to third. And it's a sacrifice fly for Matt Thomas. So
what were you saying, Tyler? It will find you?
It'll find you. It'll find you if you get in the game.
Seems to be a trend the last week or so.
It's also found us as Zach Locke has entered the booth once again. He's going to watch the game up here and enjoy it with us. That was a nice catch there in center field by Blake McRae.
Yeah, tough play there. Kind of sharp diving line drive into the kind of right center-ish gap. Pretty well hit there by Thomas, and McRae doing a nice job to keep Foster potentially from scoring from second there.
So runner 90 feet away. Foster can score on pretty much any ball in play if it reaches, of course, or a wild pitch. Bit him for one there, but good catch by Stone behind the dish. Grant Nip up to the plate, designated hitter tonight, who has just been on a tear of late. All-star this season. All-star at third and all-star at the plate. An all-star behind the plate, right? Was Matt Stone in the all-star game?
Yes, he was.
Nip off the end of the bat up the first base line, and glad that stayed foul for the first baseman. As strike 1 to Nip. Nip, initially at Alabama, has transferred to Campbell, where he should be a big part of that team. Campbell fighting camels in the Big South.
Stone relieved Danny Nerai behind the dish in that all-star game. Nerai on the bench to start tonight for the Big Train.
Out catching in the bullpen. Don't worry, we've inquired for his services up in the booth tonight, but he's out catching in the bullpen, so he's got prior arrangements. Pitch to Nip. Hit again, foul. It's 1-2.
Hard hit ball over our heads.
That will be a car.
Zach Locke has told us that will be a car, and I don't doubt that there. It's always a risky take when you park around Povich Field, the Pove,
as the kids call it,
before game night. Pack the Pove. 1-2, outside. Potentially the last home game of the season, knock on wood, here at Povich Field. Big Train win. They'd be in prime position to clinch tomorrow night in Alexandria, where they've enjoyed themselves, to say the least.
Undefeated down there at Frank Mann Field.
2-2 to Nip. Inside corner. Did he go around? Did not. They check with the first base umpire, John Epperson. He says, Nip's all good, and that count runs full. Won't see Foster running, even though he does enjoy to run. You don't run from third with 2 outs, that's for sure. But a full count. Nip.
Alexandria offering their own opinions on whether or not Nip went around there.
Nip looking for a pitch to drive. Here's the pitch. Drives it up the first base side. Not quite. And that's just a ticky-tack ground ball at the first base side. Still. Or third base side. And the count is still full. So Nate Young gets one more payoff offering here. See how he attacks Nip. Home plate umpires DeAndre Anderson and third base Joe Del Basso tonight. Seen all 3 of these umps before. Full count offering again. Here's the pitch. Nip inside, taking ball 4. And he is aboard and runners on the corners for Kemp Shark.
Yeah, Nip getting more comfortable at the dish and really finding his power stroke over the last 2 weeks of the regular season. Really a huge pickup for the Big Train to just get this deadly batting lineup even harder to face for opposing pitching. And this is exactly why you get ahead on Grant Nip. You come back, you allow him first base, and now you have to face a guy who has just absolutely stroked the ball, especially with runners in scoring position, in the mighty righty out of Ole Miss.
Hard to pitch around anyone in this situation. It's fouled off because you got Thomas, Nip, Alderman, Shawnuel, and Pepe in that middle part of the order. And you know how you can tell if there's a Nationals fan in the stands? When this song comes on, just look for them clapping their hands.
Or just, any child who enjoys the lovability of this song. Baby Shark, Kemp Alderman's newest walk-up.
Alderman attacks and fouls it off. Guy no stranger to swinging the bat. He's swinging a hot bat this season altogether. All-star in his own right. Probably would much rather talk about the pitching stats he's had this year than the offensive stats he's had this year than the pitching stats he's had this year. 0-2 now. Young delivers. It's inside corner. Gets away, and no one's going anywhere. Not far enough to appease Foster at third base. Trade deadline day in Major League Baseball. Diego Castillo has been traded from the Rays to the Mariners. Good pickup for Seattle as they try to make a wild card run.
I don't understand. We can get into that when we finish this. I don't understand Seattle's bullpen moves.
1-2. Pitch to Alderman. Way outside and he gets to the backstop, and that'll be far enough for Foster to come in. He comes home, and that's the game's first run. It's the Big Train. Have a 1-0 lead. And on to second base is Grant Nip.
Yeah, just a mistake there off the arm of Young. He was tempting Stone and Foster at third with the last couple pitches off the zone, and this one just a little too far outside off the tip of the mitt there of Stone behind the dish, and Foster able to take advantage as the first run in this game.
So Big Train flushed to an early lead here at Povich Field. 2-2 to Alderman, roped up the middle. It's past it, diving Farquhar and into center field. Nip rounding third, heading for the plate. He will score. Alderman stops at first. It's an RBI single for Kemp, and the Big Train double their lead. It's 2-0.
What was I saying about Alderman before? Deadly with runners in scoring position. Indirectly brings in 2 there. Delivers Nip home from second after the wild pitch scores Foster. And the Big Train jumping out to an early lead, as they're ought to do.
We know exactly how the Big Train have worked this year, and work they do with runners in scoring position. Put in a ton of efforts, and that was impressive to say the least for Kemp Alderman, who just bounced it past Farquhar at short. Now here's Shawnuel with a mammoth home run. against DC in the first game of that series. Not quite the worthiest of adversaries in the first round for DC. They got there. Happy to see they got there. They knocked out the 3-seeded Gaithersburg Giants, but just were no match for the Big Train in the first round.
They put up a fight. You got to give them credit.
Donovan Freyer was probably the highlight of that series, not on the mound.
And if you want to talk other highlights of this series, how about Nolan Shanuel, believe leading the team in playoff RBIs now?
See,
looking for another one there.
Looking to get 2 more onto his plate. Ribeye Stakes, that's strike 1, 2-1. Stakes aplenty for this roster this year.
Shanuel had 4 in that first victory over DC in Game 1.
He's got that high
Scored
stance.
a bunch the other night.
2-1. Taking for a strike right down the middle, and the count is now tied at 2.
On base 3 times, came around to score 3 times.
Pair of hits in this opening inning for the Big Train as they get a couple runners in past the glove of both middle infielders.
Yeah, 2 really tough plays for the middle infielders there.
2-2 off the end of the bat and into center field, but that's going to be easy for McRae to range over for, and he makes the catch. And that is out number 3. But the Big Train chase in 2 runs. They lead it by 2 as we head to the top of the second. Big Train leading by 2. After an impressive first inning from Jake Eddington, he's back out to work against the Maryland Terrapin, Bobby Zmarzlak. He will lead off here in this inning. Big Train lead at 2-0. Couple of hard hit balls past the gloves of Aces infielders. The house of cards has fallen. So here's the first pitch. Taking up high ball 1 from Zmarzlak. Zmarzlak, a guy that a big part of this team. Solid outfielder, playing right tonight. Eddington looking to continue keeping on in this game. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball taken for a strike. 1-1.
Definitely some pop in that bat as well.
Absolutely.
We saw him have a double and a home run in one of those matchups with the Big Train. Looking for more of the same here in the heart of this Aces batting order tonight.
The 1-1 he fans on, and it's 1-2.
Not going to get it there.
Yeah. High cheese. Some wonderful Gouda there from – that's a Gouda pitch from Jake Alderman. Jake Eddington, there we go. 1-2. Breaking ball in there, strike 3 called. And what a pitch from Eddington to get strikeout number 2 and out number 1 in this inning.
Yeah, how about Eddington with the looking pitch working so far? Absolute command of the strike zone through an inning and a third now. And just looking to get right back to work now against Mark Catula.
Doniphan, Missouri native, is putting up some heat here in these couple of innings. Has gotten some benders to work. All-star Mark Catula up to the plate now.
Eastern Michigan power hitter. Another guy with some juice in that bat.
Unfortunate that he was referred to as Matt Catula for the duration of the All-Star game.
Poor fellow. We'll do our best to not.
I wonder who told him that. So they had some pretty sweet graphics there for the center field board. 1-0 from Eddington. Catches the outside portion of the plate. 2-0. Crowd has filtered in a little bit here as the game's gone along. Was quite empty when we first got here, obviously, but you know, when the
You
game
mean when we arrived 3 hours before first pitch?
the game first started, it was quite empty. There's the first strike.
Yeah, DC traffic and all that.
Not
Got to
gonna-
deal with the 270 spur and all that fun stuff around here.
I don't got to worry about that. I got to worry about how I get into the HOV lane and zoom on down here. Even though I have only me inside my vehicle. 2-1 to Catula. Up the middle, that's going to get through for a base hit. So there is the first hit of the game for the Aces. And it's Mark Catula, the all-star board.
Just taking that right back where it came from. Good solid knock straight up the middle. Infielders playing traditional alignment up the middle. No chance for that for Speedy Torres at short.
All-star hitters back-to-back in the lineup as Connor Offshack stands in at the plate, the starting third baseman of the All-Star game from the Aces. Put together a pretty solid effort in that All-Star game, if I recall. Up and in, and that hits him, and he's going to get to first base safely. And here comes Scotty Morgan with 2 runners on. Eddington just missing there a little bit. Caught the elbow of Connor Offshack as he's down to first. And the hulking presence of Scotty Morgan stands up at the plate. Scotty Morgan hit a mammoth home run against the T-Bolts in their series at Blair Stadium. Man, crushed it.
I mean, big power lefty. A couple of those on the market in the MLB hot stove. But Morgan looking to do some damage here from the left-handed side.
So, take the first pitch here to Scotty Morgan. Adam Dunn-esque stance at the plate.
Woodbridge native of George Mason.
Put some hurt on a baseball with one swing. Ball down low, 1-0.
Has had some issues with the strikeout, though. And so if Eddington, after back-to-back runners on base can refine the command that got him off to the hot start through 4 batters. Good opportunity here against the hard-hitting Scotty Morgan.
1-0 as Eddington spins around and chases Catula back to second base. Matt Stone, another all-star in this lineup. The most offensive all-stars belong to the Big Train, but second place in that category was Alexandria. They had 4 initially.
What a coincidence that these two teams end up meeting.
Yeah. 1 and 2 seeds, of course, how things should be. 1-0. Morgan takes a strike on the inside third of the plate, and it's 1-1. Morgan looking for his pitch here. A guy that could put a tremendous amount of pain onto a baseball. We've seen it this season. Crushed a couple against the Big Train. No homers, though. But man, can he hit the ball when he does. Hits it hard to second base. Could be 2. Flip to second for 1 for Pepe. Torres back to first in time for the 4-6-3 double play. And the Big Train get out of the inning. So 2 runners get on, but nothing more. Big Train still lead by a pair as we head to break here at Povich Field. Rocco Pepe, the dirt bag, up to the plate now. Sees the first pitch from Alexandria. This pitcher, Nate Young, on the mound, who allowed 2 runs in the opening inning. Pepe getting his first start in a while. We saw him come off the bench. He's back. He's back in business as he fouls it off.
I want to say dating back to like July 11th back here at Povich Field.
Yeah, he was just dealing with a, I guess it was wrist issue all the way up. He got hit by 14 pitches this season, and that
Those aren't going to help.
nope, as he cranks that right back into the screen. Pepe this season was, I think, the leader in batting average for this squad before he went down. And has spent the last couple of weeks on the shelf, but he's back in biz for the championship. 1-2 to him. Inside, ball 2.
Timely return to this.
Probably could have played
Batting order.
earlier. He told us. Probably
Yeah,
could have.
taking his time,
But,
making sure
making
he's 100%.
2-2 to Pepe. Lofted high in the air and foul. Out of play.
A guy who dealt with some injury issues, redshirted this past spring at Long Beach State. Working to get back into the rhythm and don't want to, mess up anything too serious. Just
So, he is on the
serious
plate.
approach.
That is no question
Nothing
about that.
more than he's allowed.
See, he hits one high and deep to left field. That is way back, going back onto the warning track at the wall is Migliaccio, and it's gone! Goodbye! Welcome back, Rocco Pepe. First AB back from injury. First start back from injury, And he goes long, and it's his first home run outside of D.C. And what a time to do it here in the championship. Big Train extend their lead to 3.
Forest ball for Rocco as he turns on that, sending it way out of here to left field. Absolute crusher up in the air and way gone for the big fly.
Leadoff home run for Pepe in this inning. Not a cheapie by any means. Migliaccio had a long way to go for it. So he was shaded way over towards the scoreboard. But no chance to get to that ball. First pitch to Jack Cohn, taking outside ball 1. Big Train now lead it by 3. They've had some parties against Alexandria this year. That's no question. Head down to Virginia tomorrow for game 2. Framed attempt there from Stone, but all for naught. Fans start to clap, put their hands together. 2-0 to Jack Cohn, who has 1 homer to his name this year. Taking for a strike inside.
I like DeAndre Anderson's strike call behind the dish.
Quick and to
A
the point.
lot of aggression and snapping in that strike.
Anderson, one of the better umpires we've seen this year, calls a very fair game. 2-1, fouled off.
Always time for that to change, though.
That is very true, but I've liked what I've seen so far here through the first inning and some change. Bit of a heater today, not a humid one today at Povich Field, not so hot. Cohn golfs one to deep right field, down the line towards the corner. That's going to get down and fall in for a base hit. Headed to the wall. Cohn is chugging towards second. He's going to stop there. And it's back-to-back extra base hits for the Big Train. He is safe at second.
Jack Cohn, again, just like Pepe before him, turning on one. Of course, the lefty taking it the other side of the field, just dropping inside the chalk, all the way down to Jackie Robinson's number down there in the corner. Maybe had a chance for 3, but a very comfortable stand-up double. And Big Train making some noise here with nobody out. And that's going to be it.
Nate Young greeted very rudely in this game, and that's going to be all for him. He's through, an inning plus in this one. We have a new pitcher coming out of the pen. We'll get you who that is whenever we figure it out. We'll have to make sure, but first, a word from our sponsors at the Dandy Walker Alliance.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Mac Ayers, the new pitcher on the mound, is exiting the mound as Nate Young today. He is responsible for that runner on second. He exits after an inning plus, allows 3 runs. And Ayers this season has been generally solid out of the pen. 4.95 ERA and 20 innings pitched. One of the most heavily used arms out of this Aces bullpen. A card that Coach would love to play every time, Coach Bursett.
13 appearances from Max, 17 hits, 13 runs allowed, 28 strikeouts to 15 walks. So again, a solid strikeout to walk ratio, high in both accounts, but strikeouts significantly higher, almost 2-1.
In at first base is Catula, a little bit on the grass. They're expecting a bunt maybe from Torres. Does not bunt and takes a strike. 0-1.
Yeah, I mean, no outs. You kind of expect the sacrifice to at least come through the mind of Coach Sal and Torres at the plate. But, I mean, especially the way that Torres has been hitting the ball recently with a runner in scoring position, why take the RBI out of his hands?
Yeah, creeping back a little bit, though, now as they stand a little bit further back on the grass. Torres geared up to fire, grounds to third. Good look back by the third baseman off Shack, and he fires out Torres. And there's out number 1.
Yeah, nice play all around. Tough little chopper for off Shack at third. And a good reach by Catula, the other side of the diamond, to snag that thing down. A little bit high. Torres not able to get Cone over.
So, you hear Dua Lipa and DeBaby. That means Darius Foster's up to the plate. Foster hit his first home run of the season at the best moment possible in the playoffs. And Luke Baker was here to enjoy that with us.
Yeah, and as hard as Darius hit that one, I think he was levitating around the bases. Just pumped to get that first big fly of the year and do so, as you said, in a big spot to power the big train to that 14-2 win in Game 1.
Picks it up and in, ball 1. And a guy that probably doesn't try too hard to hit home runs to win, when you get a cookie like that, you got to chomp on it. And that's how the cookie crumbled for DC. 1-0 now with a runner on second. Foster, if he puts a ball in play, as he so often does, could be big for this team. As they chase across more runs. 3 thus far in this game. Once again, Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobek here with you on Big Train TV. Live from the Dandy Walker broadcast booth in Bethesda, Maryland, as it's up and in. Again, 2-0. The George Solomon press box at Povich Field. Named for Shirley Povich, legendary Washington Post writer, columnist. Loved the game of baseball, and his legacy lives on here at this field. 2-0 to Darius Foster. Skips in the dirt and bounces.
Good block there by Stone.
Count goes to the Twilight Zone, 3-0. Foster probably not going to swing 3-0. As he's a guy that loves to take his pitches. Taking all 3 in this AB.
No shame in being able to work a 4-pitch walk here for Darius. Get that meat of the big train order up to the plate with a couple runners on. Room
Ayers,
to work.
3-0 from Ayers. Pumps a strike. First one finally, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, good pitch there. Nothing, straight over the plate. No meatballs being served up by Ayers on that 3-0 pitch. But just able to find the zone. A little bit, probably on the outside half. A little high, but good location. See what he can do here on 3-1.
3-1 to Foster. Hits one high in the air in the infield. Ranging back is the shortstop onto the grass. Farquhar makes the catch, and there's out number 2. Cone stays at second, and he's on verge of being stranded there if Riley Johnson can't do anything. Johnson, the Pirate, ARG out of ECU. Found the buried treasure last game. Picked up a bunch of steaks.
Dropped some cannonballs on the head of DC Grays.
Did not clear the deck, though, like Nolan Shanuel did a couple of games ago.
Scored some booty.
Found some doubloons. Picked a double. Got tied into a knot there on the first pitch, 0-1.
Yeah, and a guy who, coming into the night, had only had 3 extra base hits on the season. Found 2 more. Found 2 more. Had a home run shy of the cycle.
Has homer this year. Homer down in D.C. to lead off the game When they're down there, ball gets away from Stone. Not even going to worry about a throw down to third as Cone is there safely. Very fast squad.
Faster than he looks, Jack Cone. You know, kind of a not quite scrawny
Well,
guy,
yeah, 'cause
but
he's a guy that also pitches, so he's not a guy that you'd expect to be pretty quick, but he is.
when he gets those legs moving, got the high socks rolled up, plenty of dirt all over the front of his pants now, just moves, burning down to third base.
Batted 300 this year at William & Mary and pitched a bit.
Pretty well.
Pitched pretty solidly. So, you know, him and Matt Howitt were two of the more reliable arms out of the bullpen for the Tribesmen this year. Tribe. 2-1 to Riley Johnson. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Very good pitch from Ayers.
Yeah, nice off speed there on the curveball. Just bottomed out. Dropped into the strike zone for Johnson. Nothing you can do with that pitch.
Like a bowling ball off a picnic table. Here's the 2-2.
Maybe a changeup, actually.
Yeah, it probably was. Maybe a Vulcan action to it as it's outside. 3-2, full count. I forget which pitchers currently in Major League Baseball utilize the Vulcan change, but there's quite a few. It's a very underrated pitch to have.
Live long and prosper.
Full count offering. Payoff pitch. Just gets a piece of that there as he fights it off. Just one hit for Alexandria and 4 for the Big Train. They lead at 3-0.
Yeah, with the guys we talked about before coming up in Thomas Nip, Alderman, Sean Ewell, et cetera, it's really useful to have guys at the top of the order, like Johnson, like Darius Foster before him, just so efficient at fighting off pitches, at letting those guys see what they're going to be getting.
Hit off the end of the bat and lined right to the shortstop Farquhar for out number 3. So Big Train do get the run on the home run by Rocco Pepe into the woods. They lead it by 3. We head to the break here on Big Train TV. Matt Stone, the leadoff hitter for the Big Train, taken on in this AB. I saved myself there from messing up. So we have some outfield changes, Ben. It's inside, strike 1 there. I don't think so.
Defensive reshuffling for Alexandria. We can get to that in the bottom half of the inning. Of course, as we talked about, McRae in for Casella after the starting center fielder got a little banged up on the very first play of the game.
2-1 here to Matt Stone.
Same defense for the Big Train, still behind Eddington. looking to refine his groove. Had it to start this game. Tough second inning, but able to hang a 0 regardless. Looking to do more of that here.
Rocco Pepe smoked a baseball in the last inning for the big train. And that's smoked down the deep right field line. Conan a long run into foul territory. He will not get there. That's into the bullpen for Alexandria, and the count runs full. A long strike 2 for Matt Stone, and open to be in kill mode here is Jake Eddington. Now, one more time. Eddington looking to get another strikeout. He's got 2 already tonight, both looking. Here is the pitch, and then we'll just do it one more time. Once again, we are live here at Povich Field for Game 1 of the CRCBL Championship Series. Big Train and Aces. Full count offering. Rope towards short. Flags it down as Torres. The long throw to first is not in time, as Kemp had to leap on the tough throw. Kemp arguing with the call and not happy with that. Thinks he got Stone on the head, but either way, it's going to be a base hit for the Aces.
Yeah, tough play, but honestly, fantastic effort on all parties' account. Coach Sal going to have a quick discussion here with John Epperson down the first base line about that. Kemp, as you said, thought he tagged him on what was a great snag out of the air. High throw from Torres, way off balance, deep in the hole.
And they're going to convene
able to get it
about
over
this.
in time. But a great slide from Matt Stone. Of course, you're taught as a runner to basically on no play slide into first base, but ducked out of the way of the glove a little bit there and was able to get that left hand in there on the bag. So we'll see what the final decision is here.
And I'll tell you what, Kemp more than holds his own at first base. A very good scooper.
Yeah.
Very good defensive first baseman.
For a guy who, came in, was touted for his versatility, of course. We've seen him out there on the mound. We've seen him at third base. We've seen him in corner outfield. He really has, and of course, the designated hitter spot, too, on the bench. But he really has, worked that first base mitt very efficiently throughout the season.
Kemp still jawing over there at first base. He thinks he got it. It was certainly a close play. I couldn't get a definitive angle on it because of how far we are up. But it did look like he did look like he got the tag down. There we go. And he's out. Oh, what a play from Keith Torres.
Chris Bursett immediately over from third base.
Yeah, so out recorded. Not happy at all as Chris Bursett, but a beautiful 6-3 putout from Keith Torres. How about that throw?
Let's see if we can maybe rewind this a little bit here on our unconventional replay. Just looking for maybe any touch there.
I don't know how good.
Not the best quality, of course, but we do what we can.
Ben had his camera set or his laptop set. There we go.
Oh, yeah, much better.
Take a look and see this ground ball, but look at this fielding effort. Fires to first, and it did. Right there, you could see that the glove was close enough to the head where it looked like he made the catch. I know you guys can't see this. I'm sorry.
I mean, we're literally. You can go back and do it once this comes on the air. Just rewind your YouTube stream, and
But hang an exclamation point on that 6-3 putout from Keith Torres, because man, what a throw!
Yeah, and like I said, just a fantastic stop way back towards our left of the shortstop hole, and a fantastic play on the other end, as we said, by Kemp too. Yeah, it looks like he does just get him on the side of the helmet there. Again, just a tough play, and obviously the umpires got together and eventually made the right call.
Some glove love here for Keith Torres, but no glove love for Chandler Kelly, who's ditched the batting gloves for this AB.
Yeah.
Takes first pitch ball 1-0.
Old school.
Glove love from Torres, of course, and Alderman. Just a tremendous effort to reach up and grab that and get the out. Kelly attacks and swings it and flips the bat in disgust as he pops it way up. Alderman comes in and gets it, and there's out number 2. So Kemp's been involved in both outs in this inning. P3 for out number 2. And up comes Blake McCray.
Yeah, not quite the last bat flip we saw from an Alexandria Aces player here at this field.
Very true. We recall Matt Stone bat flipping on a single. Double. So Blake,
long double.
yeah,
But
probably
a double
hit
nonetheless.
the extreme top of the center field batter's eye, which is no easy task. So I'll give him props to that. But first pitch here, Squaring for the drag bunt is Kelly, and he offered and missed. Strike one. Chandler Kelly, number 9 in this order. Order will turn over for Casella. Or actually, no, this is Blake McCray. There we go. Order has turned over already. Big Train leading 3-0 here at Povich Field. Game 1 of this Cal Ripken League Championship Series. 0-1. Way outside. Ball 1. McCray in for the injured Justin Casella, who left in the first inning.
Those, as long as he's up at the bat, we can get to them. The defensive switches, little outfield shuffling.
Grounds a foul.
McCray over to, I guess, his more natural left field. Marzlak moves from right to center, and Migliaccio goes all the way across from left to right.
Really,
for those keeping track at home. From left to right, that would be McCray, Marzlak, and Migliaccio in the Aces outfield with McCray at the plate here.
Eddington's 1-2. Skips low. Already 2 cross-offs in center field. I hope they don't make any more changes.
Nothing like a messy book to get you going.
And to start off this postseason series. 2-2 here. In there, strike 3 called, and Jake Eddington finishes the 3rd inning with a flourish. He's got 3 strikeouts as we head to the break here on Big Train TV. Now batting for the Big Train, the catcher out of William & Mary, number 12, Matt Thomas, up to the plate.
Good Sean Salehi impression there.
It's not Darius Foster.
Not quite.
0-1 to Thomas from Ayers. Whoa!
Do love our PA announcers of all kinds on this broadcast, whether it's Sean, whether it's Rich, whether it's our dear friend Bob Johnson.
Or whether it's you.
Every now and then. Got to do what you got to do.
I have to say, as he takes outside, we've seen more pitches over the head of Matt Thomas than any other hitter this season. He's had to duck on his fair share.
Well, for those who maybe are newer to Big Train Baseball against Alexandria in the CRCBL LCS, Thomas hasn't always had the best of times when it comes to pitches a little bit too tight. Took one a little bit towards the dome in Game 2 of the championship series back in 2018, I believe it was.
And 24-4. Reason the mercy rule is in this league is he breaks his bat and hits it up the middle. A cue shot right to the second baseman. He fires him out in time. So good play there from Kelly.
Nice play there by Offcheck as well at third base, scooping up the barrel of that long forgotten bat.
Bat does not die a hero.
Disintegrated.
Here comes Grant Knipp, the designated hitter. Knipp, his first time up, reached via the walk, came all the way around to score on the RBI single from Kemp. Campbell got a good one for sure. I know that's the cliche every girl that posts about their friend going to a college on Instagram phrase, but I'm not lying when I say that Campbell definitely got a very talented individual in Grant Knipp.
Young man out of Louisville, really hot at the plate. There's just nothing else to say besides that. Absolutely torching it off the bat to end the regular season through the start of these playoffs.
Well, I mean, we know how he can do with a wood bat, but, I mean, it's impressive with the wood bat, but if it translates to the aluminum bat and Big South, could be a pretty special season brewing for Grant Knipp. 0-1 as he fouls it back and into the screen. It's 1-2.
Yeah, probably could have taken that pitch a little bit inside on the hands, but liked what he saw. I'm not one to second-guess him too much.
Knipp, number 4. His designated hitter this season is caught, and he has also played first base. He can do all 3 of those. Pretty well, too. 1-2. In there, strike 3 called, and Ayers gets a nice K there to backwards K. That's pretty much all the strikeouts have been tonight. Yeah, 4 strikeouts tonight, all looking. And here's Kemp.
Yeah, and that's the call that Eddington got to end the top of the third, so not surprising to see Anderson, like you said before, even. And that pitch now given to both sides should quiet the objections of the Aces dugout for the minute.
So Kemp Alderman stands in now with nobody on. Only person he could drive in is himself. He was ready to go there, but takes it up high. And further drawing on, his abilities at the plate, he has shown such a refined eye this season. People have been saying that he was just holding his hands a little high at Ole Miss as it's up and in.
Yeah, a perfect example of the beauty of college summer ball. Just able to focus, let some of the distractions of, 4-year high Division I SEC competitive baseball.
So he hits one up the middle, off the middle of his bat, fielded by Farquhar at short, and fires him out at first to retire. The side of the Big Train go down quietly here in the third. We head to the 4th on Big Train TV. We'll be right back. Back here on Big Train TV is the first pitch from Jake Eddington, taken by Anthony Migliaccio. And I'm joined by a new voice, but a familiar voice in the booth today, Quentin Corpuel, taking over for this half inning for Ben on Big Train TV. Quentin, welcome to the booth.
This is awesome. This is my first time in the booth. This is my first time doing any kind of broadcasting, so I guess this is a good way to indoctrinate myself into the industry.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and if you could provide some insight, as it's 2-0 here to Migliaccio. You'll be just fine here for this half inning, as Eddington has been pitching really well today. Gets a half swing there and a strike. So I want to know what you've noticed from him for these first couple of innings, because he's looked pretty impressive to me.
Jake Eddington, he's been really working that fastball, but I was talking to him earlier in the season. He said his favorite pitch is the off-speed, and he's been working that as well. He's really firing on all cylinders. He gave up a couple of hits. I forgot one inning earlier, as that is strike number 2 from Cooper Rons. He's been really working that heater. I've been videoing down there for social media. And even when you turn the camera angle a little bit, he goes so fast.
It's impressive as he attacks and sends it to deep center field. Ranging back forward is Johnson, though. Makes the catch. And there's out number 1. So, quick out there for Anthony Migliaccio. He is retired. As coming up to the plate is Garrett Farquhar, who was initially listed on the All-Star roster for Alexandria. Couldn't make it, of course, but Farquhar hit an impressive, majestic shot here over the scoreboard early on this season.
Yes, I remember that. That was towering. That is very rare, too, here at Shirley Povich Field. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, you see a couple, one hop the scoreboard, but to clear that, I want to say it's like 12 feet high. It's tough. And he hits one deep to left field. Foster rating back for it. He looks and he made the catch. Oh, man, what a play from Darius Foster. And there is your out number 2. Quentin, welcome to the booth.
That was awesome. Web gem.
Darius Foster makes an impressive leaping grab. And I was out there with him in batting practice yesterday. But, oh, man, what a catch there from Darius. You can hang an exclamation point next to that.
That kid is,
number 2.
How dare I call him a kid? He's older than me, but he is an athlete. You saw when he came home on that wild pitch just how fast he is.
Oh,
it is really something to watch.
Impressive there in left field. His first pitch taken just inside for Bennington. So, pair of flyouts to the outfielders, one more impressive than the other. And Bobby Zmarzlak stands in. Marilyn Terrapin, 1-0 here from Eddington, who has really settled in tonight. This was the one start he had this season that he was shaky was against these guys, where he was up, down, off the plane, came in and got shelled. But after that, he's looked pretty solid. I mean, it's just been an impressive year for Eddington, even if his ERA is not as low as he would want it to be.
You can really tell when a pitcher is locked in. I was watching Eddington before the game, and he looked absolutely locked in, as that one is just inside.
Taken inside there, and Quentin, I'm sure you'll have some great social media posts for the rest of the night.
It is actually Bryn doing social media, but I'm doing Instagram, actually, so Instagram? I guess I am doing social media.
You know what? That's all that matters.
Yes.
3-0. You'll probably be on social tomorrow night down in Alexandria.
I hope so. That should be hopefully electric, as that is ball number 4.
Yeah, ball 4 there is reaching is Zmarzlak, who struck out looking his first time up. And here's All-Star Mark Catula, unfortunately referred to as Matt during the entirety of the All-Star game, and both on the scoreboard, the big board, which, I mean, it's got to be fun for you to see your name on the big board, but when it's messed up, man,
that's tough. That has to. I can relate. My name is pretty hard to spell and pronounce, and I've had my fair share of both name pronunciation mess ups and spelling mess ups. So I feel Matt's. I feel Matt. I feel him.
Mark Catula. There you go. Up and in.
Exactly. You just proved the point right there. I messed up his name.
1-0 outside, and Kemp's gonna come in and talk to Jake Eddington here.
Smart move. Just got to get him calm down a little bit. Don't want anything
maybe
to
or maybe
break
telling
open.
him, hey, I could run a hidden ball trick here at first base, something like that.
That would be, that we almost how dare I say we, the big train very nearly executed one this year. Keith Torres had it all planned out, but unfortunately I believe it was it Kyle Robinson on the mound.
It was Coop on
it
the
was
mound.
Cooper Rons on the mound, and he stepped on the mound while he didn't have the ball, and unfortunately that is against the rules, as that is in for strike number 1. It was awesome. I always love a good hidden ball trick. I've pulled that a few times in Little League. And you feel like a genius when you do it, just catching the team off guard, catching them sleeping. But just one little mess up, and it didn't work, unfortunately. But still, it was very funny to watch.
So 1-1. Whoa, skips away to the backstop, and down goes Zmarzlak to second base. It's 2-1 here to Mark Catula. Catula, Eastern Michigan. Pretty big hulking presence in the batter's box. Not a guy you'd want to mess with.
No.
Put some hurt on the baseball. Been a big part of the success of the Aces this season. That's how they got the 2 seed. So the wild pitch from Jake Eddington allows Zmarzlak to second base. 2-1 here with 2 outs. Eddington looking to get another clean inning under his belt. Looks back for a long time, long hold, sets and delivers. There's outside, and the count goes to 3-1.
All right. I know I'm about to state the obvious, but a strike would be big here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and in a hitter's count, if you can sneak one by Catula, who might be, never taking one, but maybe geared up a little too high. If he's sitting on some soft stuff, maybe going hard with a fastball and get him to come out. So, 3-1 here, runner on second. The pitch. Skips away, and Thomas is going to have to chase that down. That's ball 4. And reaching third base there is Marslack, and Mark Catula aboard with back-to-back walks. First 2 walks we've seen tonight from Jake Eddington and Connor Offshack. Back-to-back All-Stars in the order for Alexandria will strut to the plate.
All right, hopefully Eddington can get it. Oh, and Coach Lopez is coming out to talk to him right now. I think that's a smart move.
Yeah, it's something that's due to calm him down a little bit. He's missed the zone. He's not missing by too much, but the 2 wild pitches are some cause for concern.
Oh yeah, they didn't just get by Matt like barely. They were wild, as you saw. The last one got halfway up the netting here on the home plate grandstand. So yeah, I think this is a very smart move.
Yeah, and see some laughs out there on the mound. We were talking to Cooper Rons last game, and he said Danny Neary, when he was talking to him out on the mound in the first game of that series, asked him what he had for lunch. Like, it can be something simple as that to make him laugh and calm him down a little bit. It really helps them judge. I'd love to, it's a hard thing to do, but I'd love to get stats for pitchers after a mound visit.
There's definitely an advanced stat for that. I can guarantee you can find that somewhere on the internet.
Right.
And yeah, just getting a guy out of their head, because I feel like you can tell with any pitcher when they're in their head. Really any athlete, like when they're in their head, when they're thinking too much.
Right.
And just getting them loose. You got to get them loose. That is a very good skill to have.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that calmed down Eddington.
Just misses again there, yeah.
It's ball number 1.
1-0 here. Runners on the corners. As Mr. Bobek has gotten some ice cream.
Shout out Brewster's Ice Cream.
Brewster's phenomenal. 1-0 here from Eddington, trying to get that strike. There
Nice.
it is. Oh, sizzles in there. 1-1. It gets a nice hand from the crowd. What a pitch.
The crowd is going to play a big part in this game.
Yeah.
They have been pretty electric so far, and if Eddington can get out of this, this crowd is going to roar.
Yep, 1-1. He's found his way out of several innings. Finished off the last one with a strikeout looking. The 1-1. Up high to Offshack. 2-1. Be interesting to see how the rest of the bullpen shapes out tonight. Maybe Eddington goes 5 because, with a maximum of 2 games left in this series, we won't see Eddington again for the rest of the season, no matter what. So the 2-1 here from him. Maybe some extra amp as he fires it back into the screen. And now it's 2-2. The claps will begin.
That was big.
Yeah.
That was really big. 2-2 versus 3-1. That is a major difference in an at-bat.
Changes the complexion of the inning altogether. The claps begin here at Povich Field for Eddington. 2-2 here to Offshack. Has the hold. Gets the sign. Does a little tip-tap and he'll call time.
Smart by Offshack. That's a very
yeah.
smart move by a batter to calm down the crowd.
Yeah. Try to get him out of his rhythm a little bit too. But he's in that lockdown mode. Looking for the kill shot here. He's got the crosshairs pointed right down the middle. 2-2 pitch from Eddington. Long hold. Delivers. Outside. Oh, just missed. Yeah. Just missed a little bit. That was a good call, though. Fans wanted that, though.
The umpires in the stands wanted that.
Umpires in the stands, as often as they want that. There is the count running to full.
Big pitch here.
Payoff pitch. Whistling. Loud sounds here at Povich Field. Runner goes.
Got
Swing
it.
and a miss. Strike 3. And Jake Eddington walks off with a strut. And that is how the side is retired.
As
Big
he
Train.
should.
Big Train winning 3-0 here on Big Train TV. Quentin, once again, thank you for coming up and joining me for this half inning. Really appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
Ben's coming back in with his ice cream as we'll be back after the break. back here on Big Train TV once again. Quentin Corpuel upstairs with me as Nolan Shawnuel leads off this inning and hits one high into the foul territory,
Come on,
racing over for
get
off
out.
Shack. And he can't get to it. Skips towards the bullpen and the screen, and that's just a feeble strike number 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't slide or dive or risk my body anywhere near
On
that
the
gravel.
Yeah, that gravel hurts quite a bit. Rocco Pepe would be next.
Shawnuel's been hitting very well lately, I must say. That if any of you viewers were there to watch his home run the other day against I can't even, it was against DC
Yes,
earlier.
DC.
Hanging curveball, put one halfway up the light tower in right center field. It was amazing.
Rips one into right field for a base hit, and he is aboard with a leadoff single. Rocco Pepe with a runner on now, and we'll see what he does for an encore. Homered his first time up, sent it deep down the left field line, a resounding blast. And it's 3-0 here for that. On the strength of that, Shawnuel aboard with nobody out.
It's pretty impressive seeing Pepe hit a homer right after. A few days ago, I was talking to Coach Bender. In batting practice, he was exclusively swinging with only his upper body.
Yeah.
It was only his upper body. He wasn't moving his legs at all, and now he's cranking homers over the left field fence, which was pretty impressive if you ask me.
So, 0-0. Fresh count here for Pepe. First pitch bounces. There goes the runner down to second base. The
Gonna be
throw is
close.
a good one, and
Nope,
he doesn't
dropped
even
it.
make the catch. And down to second on the wild pitch is Nolan Shawnuel.
Some sneaky speed from Shawnuel.
Yeah, he's got that. He's got quite a bit of that speed there. See what Pepe can do now with a runner about 180 feet away on the base pass. One and 0 now to Rocco Pepe, Long Beach State dirtbag. Squares to bunt.
Oh, look
up
out.
and in.
That was almost hit by pitch number 15.
Yeah. Does not want that. Not one bit. So Pepe flushed back into the lineup tonight, finally. It's been a couple of weeks since he's had a start. Did appear as a pinch hitter in the last game of the DC series. He's got a 2-0 count. Hits one high in the air. Should be playable for the left fielder, McCray. He's under it. Got full bite a little bit, comes in. Makes the catch for out number 1. So Pepe is retired, and up comes Jack Cone.
Jack Cohn's been really exciting this year. I don't know about you, but watching him is always a treat.
Yeah, he can do it, pretty much do it all.
He can literally do it all.
Yeah, it's been quite impressive. And just to watch him go to work, you almost thought he could have been a guy that maybe was on the late draft boards this year.
As was I. I was a little surprised. Now look, I'm biased, but I was a little surprised to not see him drafted. But thankfully, we did have one roster member get drafted, Austin Gauthier, going to Hollywood.
Yeah, he signed with the Dodgers, I believe, yesterday. It was a Hofstra guy that committed to Maryland for his extra year, but I'm sure he's more than happy to go play in the minor leagues for the defending world champions.
Yes, very happy for Austin. It was a joy to watch him this year.
We made some predictions on where these guys would end up, but none of them did go anywhere, so we won't further mention that. As Cone takes ball 2. Cone this season has been everything the Big Train could have asked for, both on the mound and at the dish. Has had some rough outings on the mound, but shored it up a little bit, and his bat speaks louder than his glove on the mound.
On social media, I call him Jack the Sack Fly King because I feel like every game
He leads the team.
he leads the team in sack flies. Not surprised.
But instead, this one's on the ground up the first base line. It's a sacrifice ground out at least as he gets the runner over to third for out number 2. So a 3U gets Shawnuel to third. Keith Torres flies up to the plate. The flying Hawaiian into the plate. No longer, unfortunately, his limited time hot dog is no longer available. Torres has once again been a guy that has been very impressive this year.
He's probably one of the better guys on the team. He's probably got the most plate discipline. I was talking to him earlier in the season, and he said it's just a product of him being a shorter guy. That one nearly drills him. It's just a product of him being a shorter guy. He's got a shorter strike zone, so he knows that if it's a little higher, a little lower, a little outside or inside, he's probably going to get the call a majority of the time, and he's got a great eye, I must say.
Absolutely. One of the leaders in the league in the on-base percentage category. Hits one high and deep to center field. Back goes Marslak on the warning track. It's off the wall, and that'll get a run in. Torres is flying, and he's into second base. It's an RBI double for Torres, and the lead is now 4.
That has got to be the deepest ball I've seen Keith Torres hit this season. That was a towering fly ball off the wall, and he got good wood on that one.
Yeah, perhaps out in any other part of the ballpark, but it skipped off the wall, the base of the wall. And here's Darius Foster, who sent one over the fence for his first of the season a couple of games ago.
I must say, that was absolutely electric having Luke Baker here in the box when
incredible.
Darius hit his homer. That was awesome to watch. If you haven't watched that already, please do.
Yeah.
You will feel the excitement from a video as we are going to have a mound visit here.
New pitcher as well. So we have a new guy coming out of the bullpen. We'll get you that when we come back here on Big Train TV. Have a little break here. So we'll get you our pitcher when we come back.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy-Walker syndrome. Dandy-Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
It's kind of uncanny that Fleetwood Mac is playing as Mac Ayers exits the mound here at Povich Field. The new pitcher, Kevin Silvestri, all-star in his own right as well.
Absolutely, he's been phenomenal with. But now, the almighty dangerous Darius Foster.
An all-star on all-star matchup here. Foster takes on Silvestri. We'll see who comes out on top with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Keith Torres, a lofted double to center field. Probably could have been out if that was hit to any other part of the ballpark, but
That is a fact. That is a good point.
and he hit it. I want to say about halfway up the batter's eye. It's that the batter's eye to me is pretty interesting. He's got the little notch down the right side as Foster geared up to fire, fouls it off. There's a little notch part that's where Rob Pollard snuck it over in the Israel game. Right, that little part that's not as high as the rest of the fence, but still covered in the black part.
Yeah, that's almost equally as impressive as getting it over
Yeah.
the center field wall. That is a tough hit.
Part of the quirks of Povich Field is how the fences stand, and that top of the scoreboard is in play as well. Foster, the 0-1. Grounded foul off of his foot. Never fun.
Ouch. So while we wait for another pitch, in NBA news, the NBA draft is happening right now. Cade Cunningham has gone first. Jalen Green has gone second, and I would be shocked if Mobley has gone third. Mobley has gone third to Cleveland, and the Lakers and Wizards have just agreed to a Russell Westbrook trade. That is Woj and Shams are having an absolute field day today.
Yeah, this is an intriguing day in the NBA. I'm not the biggest NBA guy, as you may know, but always keeping an eye on some trades, some big ones. Of course, Adrian Wojnarowski, as Foster goes down strike 3, is a big friend of Danny Neareyes. Foster is retired, and that'll do it here for the Big Train in this half inning on Big Train TV. We'll be back. Scotty Morgan, the leadoff hitter, against real friend of the show, Luke Baker, taking over for the mound. First time we've seen him here in the postseason, and first pitch strike. He has been dying to pitch in front of us one more time this season, and on the biggest stage of them all here in the championship series. 0-1 to Morgan. In there, strike two, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, so kind of the reverse situation with Young. As glad to be back up with you after a little sabbatical there. Let Quentin do some work.
Welcome back, Ben.
Yeah, thanks. Tip that one back foul. But with Baker, 7 games, 7 starts. His first time coming out of the bullpen in relief. So we'll have to see how his approach changes. A guy who's been a little bit unlucky at points this season. Knows that sets high standards for himself and wants to approach the game and approach attacking these batters in certain ways.
And swing and a miss, strike three, and there's a Max Scherzer walk off the mound for Luke Baker as he gets a strikeout for his first batter faced for out number 1.
Too soon, man.
Oh.
Too soon.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm so sorry. Washington Nationals are in talks to trade.
Well, don't need to talk about it.
Okay, Ben. But you would be
But
the
yeah,
first.
anyways, when it comes to Baker's approach, I think that's exactly what he was looking for. Come out of the bullpen, get right after Scotty Morgan, and send him down swinging. Is that the first swinging strikeout we've had tonight for either team?
Yeah, I think so. So that is the 1-0 count as Baker loses the ball on the mound. Really, I mean, Baker has been just impressive, though, this season, though. I mean, nothing more you could say. He has run into some bad luck. That happens. That's how it goes sometimes. Nothing you can really do about it. There's a strike, 1-1. New batter, Matt Stone, the all-star. See how Luke does in his relief appearance. 1-1. Another strike. Impressive slider there. Pitch he taught me, by the way. And it's 1-2 here from Luke Baker. He's got the sign. He's got the set. He delivers. Swing and a miss, strike three, and Luke Baker's got back-to-back strikeouts to start things off in his outing. And here comes Chandler Kelly. I think this is the outing he was hoping for, Ben.
Dominant start.
Very impressive stuff from the long lefty. From the Lake State? No, not really. There's only one big lake in Florida, and it's Lake Okeechobee. Swing and a miss again, 0-1, and Luke Baker is just in command right now.
Just absolutely bringing the sauce here to start off in this 5th inning.
0-1, inside, ball 1.
Baker, the long lefty, 6'6", lanky frame, bringing the heat so far tonight. Shakes off Thomas there.
Swing and a miss, strike two, and it's 1-2, and Luke Baker has just been flame-throwing here in this first inning of work.
Yeah, beautiful off-speed there to get the swing and miss on strike 2 from Riley.
So 1-2 here to Chandler Riley, looking to strike out the side. Here's the pitch. Ripped down the right field line, could fall into play, and that's going to be a foul ball.
Close there on Riley trying to go the other way down the right field line. But just out of play. Cone in the corner there with a long way to run.
Absolutely. Cone has had to move quite a bit tonight.
Getting his steps in.
Of course. So we'll do it one more time. 1-2 here at Povich Field. Luke Baker has the sign. He's ready to go. Kelly digs in. Here's the 1-2 from Baker. Inside.
Ooh, good location there.
Yeah,
he knows Anderson's been giving that inside spot, going after him with the fastball there. It's a little bit too tight on Riley.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Bounces low, and the count runs full.
Baker with that two-seam fastball, changeup, slider. Real wipeout stuff on that slider, as you can personally attest to, Tyler.
Of course. Yeah, he taught me it. Inside, strike three called, and Luke Baker strikes out the side with a flourish in the opening inning. Big Train still lead it by 4. We head to the break on Big Train TV.
Now batting for the Bethesda Big Train, the center fielder from East Carolina University.
So
number
Riley
2,
Johnson takes over after an impressive inning from Luke Baker.
Think he's comfortable coming out of the bullpen after that one?
Oh, I think so.
Safe to say.
First pitch from Silvestri's fouled off 0-1.
I have to zoom out here a little bit. Get some of that baseball sky in there. Beautiful cotton candy in the outfield behind Shirley Povich Field. Just peeking out there from the corner. Ooh,
Tried to
golfing
golf
at
it,
that
yeah.
one. 4.
Just watch out on the green there. In right field, Migliaccio. 0-2 here to Johnson. There we go. As league lead, or excuse me, the Big Train lead at 4-0 here in Game 1 of the championship series. There's outside pitch, 1-2. Just an impressive inning from Luke Baker tonight to start things out, and potentially a chance for him to do a little bit more.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, what his innings number is, what his pitches number is. Of course, as we mentioned, a guy very comfortable in a starting role. 7 appearances, all starts before tonight. And obviously, Eddington going 4. If you can get, 3 maybe from Baker, you got to be really happy with how that sets up for the back end of your bullpen, as well as Game 2 and possibly Game 3 if necessary.
2-2 just misses. Silvestri was ready to walk
It's a
around.
good-looking pitch.
And I don't know if Chris Bursett's too happy because these are pitches that are probably getting called for the Big Train here.
Yeah, I couldn't really get a good look at that one. Looked like it just dropped in, maybe a little bit low on Johnson, if anything, but a good close pitch there. Tough call.
Fouls it off his foot
that's
again.
gonna
It's
sting.
full count. Big Train lead at 4-0 here in Game 1 of the championship series. Got some runs in the first, second, and fourth.
A little bit different than how they've built up leads in the other 2 games of the playoffs so far, but patient approaching at the plate, just taking what Alexandria has given to them in terms of runners on base. Of course, the one big fly.
Grounded towards second. Good play there by Kelly, and he makes the out. And there is out number 1. So Johnson is retired, and here's Matt Thomas.
Thomas, a guy always looking for more at the plate.
Of course, looking to go upstairs and send one over the fence. Homered in every single ballpark this year once. No other Big Train player can say that. Kemp nearly did it. Has homered everywhere. Actually, no, Kemp did not homer in Silver Spring, I do not think. Strike one, as most of their games early on in the season were at Silver Spring. Kemp was not on the squad.
Yeah, really front-heavy matchups with the T-Bolts. Of course, eliminated by these Aces in 2 games.
0-1, just misses low.
As the 4 seed, I believe. Taking the 1-game playoff over South County a couple nights ago, then quickly falling in 2 games to the T-Bolts. They played Sunday night.
Loop towards the hole. That's going to get by a diving Farquhar into left field. And Thomas has his first hit of the day.
Yeah, about time. Matt checking in with a nice base knock the other way.
So
Pulling it up the left side.
for Eddington tonight, 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. In an absolutely masterful performance.
Yeah, really solid line. As we said, Eddington was in control the whole time. Let those kind of 2 situations, had runners on the corners with 2 outs. But, I mean, that pitch to end the 4th inning, masterful stroke of beauty there.
Cold-blooded pitch, too.
Yeah, and what I was saying before was, don't even remember, something about the Silver Spring Aces matchup.
Yeah.
They played Sunday night. Big Train were rained out Sunday, played Monday and Tuesday. Silver Spring and Alexandria rained out Monday night with a 1-0 series lead for Alexandria. So they played Sunday and Tuesday.
So the
Both
0-1.
teams scheduled for backup rain delay game 3s if needed yesterday. Turned into a nice day off to get fresh for this best of 3 championship series.
Absolutely. So 1-1 to Grant Nip. Taps it foul. Let's hear some frogs in the distance. here at Cabin John Regional Park, just outside Cabin John Creek, I believe it is, right? Or the Cabin John River. Not sure which is which. Anyway, 1-2 from Silvestri. Checks on. Whoa! Gets away from the first baseman, Catula, and Thomas is going to keep going. He's going to head to third, and he will get there safely.
Catula, or Migliaccio and Wright still having trouble digging that thing out. Thomas sprinting his way down to third. Major boo-boo there from Alexandria.
Yep, 1-2. Silvestri launched throw. I mean, nothing more you can really say than launch on that play. And all the way down to third is Matt Thomas on the error on the pitcher. Launched it. I mean, there's nothing else you can really put in that scenario. 1-2 to Nip. Breaking ball is high. Nip tonight singled or has walked and struck out looking. 2-2 count here on the verge of striking out again. But instead hits it in the infield. Infield fly rule is called. They can't find it. It might fall in. It falls in, and Nip's going to be safe, and Thomas comes home. So there's no infield fly rule called in the play, and they're going to argue that it should have been called.
No force on the runner on.
So Nip is aboard, and that's going to fall as a single. How about that? The softest hit RBI single maybe you could ever have? I don't know. And Nip is aboard.
Yeah, just absolutely towering way up there in the night sky. And with the lights shining in from kind of down the left field line, just completely lost in the right side of the infield. And it drops in. They're right to call no infield fly. As he said, with no force on the runner off third.
Stone was not happy, but they still haven't listed it. And make sure, I want you to go out there and tell them there's got to be an error on the pitcher. That got Thomas all the way to third. Alderman takes ball. Ball one there. 1-1. Nip schleps back to first. At least tell the scoreboard operator. Still hasn't been one. 1-1. Alderman smacks one down the left field side.
Yeah, it is technically scored in our game tracker as an error. But it's just not yet up on the scoreboard out there in left center field.
So, yeah. So it is listed. We got to make sure that that's ironed out.
For those keeping track at home.
1-2 to Alderman. Grounded towards the hole. Fielded on the pick there to second for one. Back to first is not in time. Alderman is safe. Great pick there at third by Offshack. There's a reason he was an all-star. Nip is out at second, but Alderman reaches on the 5-4-3 fielder's choice.
Offshack on top of that hard hit ground ball right to his mitt. Able to snag it up and get the lead runner at second. Still one on. Now two gone for Shanuel.
Nolan Shanuel. Wonder how long Luke will go into this game. Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we see literally a huddle in the bullpen. They're playing dodgeball, so I think Luke's
quiet for the moment.
Yeah.
If there's ever a moment where that bullpen is quiet.
2-0 or 1-0 now to Shanuel, runner on first. Shanuel has been a master. They shifted on him in the Israel game. Other teams should probably take notes because he does look to use that side. Inside, back pick on Alderman. He's going to get back safely.
No PTSD for Stone in throwing down to first. Already seen one adventure in that task come back to bite Alexandria with Thomas scoring on the high RBI from Nip.
This pitch misses outside, 3-0. Shanuel, maybe he could swing 3-0, but he's got a
if
pocket.
he gets a pitch to hit, you're not going to tell him no.
He's got a pocket down the left field side to shoot for.
There is also a pretty significant gap between Zmarzlak in center and Migliaccio in right.
Basically, in that area of the field, if he hits one there, that's ball 4. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
The point is moot. But I was going to say, if he hits one there, I mean, no one's going to get to that. It was really a Jake and Bake outing tonight for Jake Eddington. I mean, flourished on the
Just
mound.
cooking.
So here's Rocco Pepe. First time playing second base tonight, but we've seen him field all over the infield this season. Of course in BP as well and Fungo practice. Big Train playing in potentially their last home game of the year. So we've really enjoyed everyone that's come out this season. Also everybody that's tuned in. We will still be on the call tomorrow night in Alexandria as the Big Train look to bring it home. Ben on play-by-play. Pepe takes inside strike, 1-0-1. See, I wonder where in the world we will be set up tomorrow.
Where in the world is Big Train TV?
Exactly.
Tomorrow night, it'll be Frank Mann Field, Southern Alexandria, Virginia.
0-1. Breaking ball taken for a strike, 0-2.
Rocco backing out of the way of these.
Does not want to get hit. It might be a bit
Playing
shell-shocked.
it safe.
Don't blame him, though. Do not blame him whatsoever. 0-2. Here's the pitch. Pepe, did he hold up? He did not. Strike 3, and that'll retire the side. They tagged Pepe out to get the final out, but the Big Train tack on one more run on the high RBI single by Grant Knipp, and we'll head to the break on Big Train TV. Blake McCray leads things off here. It's Luke Baker out for a second inning of work and sizzles a fastball up and in. An impressive first inning for Luke Baker where he struck out the side. Made quick work of these guys.
See what the follow-up act is here as he pumps that one in there for a strike.
So, 2-1 here from Baker. Those signature orange cleats.
Never did get the origin story on those.
We'll have to ask him before the season's over.
Nice pitch there on the 2-1. Maybe a little bit of a foul tip back.
2-2 here.
Baker, as you said, looking to pick up right where he left off, striking out the side in the 5th.
Grounded towards third and foul.
Still fairly warm here at Povich Field.
Absolutely.
Crowd settling in. They were loud the last couple innings. A deserved ovation for Foster after that incredible snag.
Yeah.
Got pretty jumpy during that last strikeout for Jake Eddington. We'll see what kind of reception they give Luke Baker as this game goes on.
Baker does seem to be in for a couple innings and certainly deserves some praise after that impressive first. Only one hit tonight for Alexandria. Full count offering. Ball 4, so there's a walk. First issued by Baker, and McCray is aboard for Migliaccio.
Yeah, that lone base hit for Alexandria, the single by Mark Catula way back in the second. Have reached a couple.
Now batting from Vanderbilt, the right fielder, number 1, Anthony
Migliaccio out of Vandy. Potentially a good pal of Kumar Rocker, who has not signed yet.
Not quite. Rising freshman,
Yeah.
Vandy commit. I don't think he has deep connections with Kumar.
Hoping he signs soon. 1-0 from Baker. There's a strike, 1-1. Really just impressive stuff from both Big Train pitchers tonight, but really doesn't discount the effort tonight from Eddington. 4 strikeouts, 4 innings of work. Inside corner of the plate, and it's 1-2. Baker looking for his 4th strikeout.
Yeah, and that's a spot that Baker really relied on in that last inning. Able to work it inside on the hitter and try to jam him. See what he goes to here on a 1-2 pitch.
Grounded towards the hole. That's going to be past a diving second baseman Pepe and into right field. The first hit Baker has allowed.
As we talked about just a moment ago, just the second for the Aces tonight. And kind of in similar fashion, Catula's a hard hit ground ball up the middle past an extended glove of Keith Torres. This one just a little bit too far towards the hole up the right for Pepe. Trying to angle over on that one, but just couldn't quite knock that thing down. So 2 on, nobody out here.
Baker in a pressure cooker situation. A guy that, no stranger to that, though. You know, some soft hit baseballs against him this year. He's been having to deal with the brunt of those. See if he can get a ground ball to potentially turn a pair. Fouled off. 0-1. Would love a strikeout and then a ground ball here to potentially get out of things. So Baker has an 0-1 as things quiet down a little bit at Cabin John Regional Park. 0-1 is runner dancing off second base and he'll step off smartly. Oh and 1 once again. Baker the long hold. Torres watching the runner at second base. Just the pitch up high, 1-1. Just 2 hits for Alexandria. 1 just came. Hits one high in the air in the infield. The infield fly rule is called. The batter is out. Catch made. And there is out number 1. Big first out for Luke Baker.
Very interesting that we've gotten back-to-back half innings now with a non-infield fly, what felt like an infield fly, an actual infield fly. Never know what you're going to get in these playoffs. But a good way to get out number 1. Of course, still a little bit of a jam here with 2 on, but a ground ball gets you out of this. Strikeout gets you a whole lot closer if you're Luke Baker.
First pitch swing and a miss by Zmarzlak.
Good place to start right there against a dangerous hitter, Bobby Zmarzlak. Couple big flies on the year. As we talked about, great defender with the mid out there in the outfield. Nice pitch trying to get him to chase. Zmarzlak lays off.
It's just, we've talked far and away how impressive the Big Train pitching has been, and they just pick up their guys out there on the mound. You know, you get a dominant start from Eddington, and then you get another guy coming in who goes out there and weaves out of some danger, but goes in and pitches well. 1-1 here to Zmarzlak. Grounded slowly towards third, but foul, and it's 1-2.
Can be very deflating for a pitcher to, give your all out there, bust your back, put out a great performance, such as Grayson hit and Matt Bedford did the first 2 Eddington had tonight, only to have it fall apart. So be able to have that trust in your offense and the rest of your bullpen, as far as like somehow fouls off a very soft off-speed pitch there. It just shows you how quickly this team can come together and put their collective talents to work in a pretty short span of time.
1-2 once again from Baker. The pitch is Marszalek, roped in the air to center field. Johnson over to get it, makes the catch. Tagging at second is the runner McCray. He'll get to third without a throw, and that is out number 2. So sacrifice fly for Marszalek.
Yeah, you'll take that, I think, if you're Baker. Obviously, decent piece of contact to center field there from Marszalek. Johnson under it pretty quickly. Maybe had a chance if he really wanted to put something in the throw, but why risk it? Play it safe. Torres with a nice cutoff.
So here's Mark Catula with 2 outs. Luke Baker is just one step away from getting out of his mini jam. First pitch. Inside, strike 1 from Baker, and it's 0-1. Baker is not afraid to attack that inside portion of the plate. Pitching on the biggest stage of the season. He said he was looking forward to pitching in one of these games. He said he didn't know if he was going to pitch in the opening round, but said that he would definitely get in at some point. Swing and a miss by Catula, and it's 0-2.
I think as we touched on a little bit before, he's a guy that really relishes the pressure. Obviously, high standards for himself, whether it's at Ole Miss or at Jacksonville. A guy who wants to play his best baseball every day.
So the
and in a spot like this, he's a guy you want to have the ball in his hand.
Exactly. 0-2 once more from Luke Baker. Checks on the runner at first, fires, swinging a foul tip, and gets away from Thomas. It's still 0-2.
Yeah, just fouled it just in front of Thomas. No chance for him to put the squeeze on it.
Oh, and 2 again from Baker, looking for his 5th strikeout in relief. Here's the pitch. Outside. Excuse me, his 4th strikeout in relief. There we go. Gets the sign again. Here's the 1-2 looking to get out of things. Runners on the corners. Baker delivers outside, 2-2.
Yeah, good looking pitch there. Obviously, still some room to maneuver in the 1-2 count there. 2-2 now even. Put nice little off speed changeup just off the edge of the plate outside on off Shack. Or Catula rather.
2-2 to Catula. Baker delivers. Ripped into left field. Foster going back. He leaps and he made the catch. Darius Foster again with an impressive play in left field to track the ball down. And that's how Baker gets through the second. He's through 2 scoreless here on Big Train TV.
Relied on the strikeout pitch the first time around. This time gets some help from the defense. They pick their pitcher up and strand both runners. Still 5-0 Train.
Jack Cohn facing his swingman counterpart, Tyler Helgeson, here in the inning. Helgeson takes over on the mound for Silvestri, who pitched 2 solid innings. Nothing really to sneeze at. We'll see what Luke Baker does for an encore. He's got 2 scoreless under his belt. Winding down on Baker Street. Great song.
First, show Jack Contani. Looking to do something here.
Solid. Instead, he hits it off his foot.
Not looking to do that.
I don't think anyone's ever looking to do that, honestly.
Painful off the front ankle.
Quite. So, again, another great start tonight from Jake Eddington, who's really just come into his zone after that first start. And then the one that he was, getting in trouble, that 6-run start, that all came in that 1 inning. Eddington has looked impressive to me this season. 1-1. Cohn takes the ball up high.
Yeah, I think similar to Baker, the situation for Eddington isn't always as helpful as it can be. I mean, the guy just sometimes doesn't get the bounces of the ball you're looking for.
It's outside.
Sometimes the coin just doesn't
Right.
flip your way.
Well,
And Eddington has been victim of that now, once or twice throughout the year, as you saw. The numbers that we saw at the beginning of the broadcast, when you look at his regular season stats, I do not believe tells the full picture
it's up
of
the
Jake
middle.
Eddington's season.
Here's Cohn busting it down the line. He's going to be out.
Nearly
6-3.
beat that one
Yeah.
out.
Cohn is
Flaming
retired.
down the first baseline.
But I was just going to say, it's no stranger that Luke Baker is a contact pitcher. He's a guy that pitches well to contact, and, he benefits from having a solid defense behind him. But he will get the strikeout pitches, but Luke Baker is working his best when he's getting those balls in play right to the fielders. I liken it to, a Marcus Stroman type of pitcher who, not a strikeout guy, but a guy that is a finesse pitcher. And Luke Baker certainly has that working tonight. Torres takes a first pitch strike, and it's 0-1.
Wow.
Mad about the Turner and Scherzer trade until you see the prospect haul coming back at 0-2. Josiah Gray has all the talent in the world. And Keibert Ruiz, pretty good catcher.
Yeah.
And depending on who else they get, I heard they're getting some guy named Clayton Sershaw. It's slow.
I was more looking forward to Mustin Day.
Sure they're not getting Thriss Kaler?
Sorry, Keeger.
We can speculate all game about who they're getting and who they're not getting. But here's the 1-2 to Torres, breaking ball up high. Didn't break too much.
As long as they're not giving up Swan Yodo.
I think they are. I think that's part of the deal.
All I've got to say on that topic, as long as we're on it for a little bit here, is you got to re-sign him.
Yeah. 2-2 foul back.
And that's it. That's the end of the discussion.
It's gonna be like the Aroldis Chapman.
Well, I meant Swan Yodo, not.
Oh, yep.
I mean, look, if the Nationals go out in the winter and re-sign Scherzer, then great.
His arm's gonna be dangling down.
So here's the thing. Like, to think about him, he's a guy that probably has a good 2 more years starting in the majors. But I can't wait to see him as, what is he, like 36, 37 now?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him as a 41-year-old closer who just comes in, pumps flames for an inning to close out games, and that's it.
His arm's gonna be dangling down by the next time the Nationals sign him. He's gonna be like, the Dodgers just asked me to pitch every inning of every game for the rest of the year because their entire pitching staff is decimated.
Gotta
But
do what you got to do.
Josiah Gray, a nice compliment to Jackson Rutledge in that system.
Cade Cavelli.
Not quite the Covelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio. Torres towards the hole, past the diving effort from Kelly. That's going to go into the gap. Torres trying for 2. Throw is a bit high, and he's going to get there and gets away. That's a 2-base hit. Keith Torres all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Torres just torching the ball tonight. Couple of hard hit balls to either gap.
Pair of doubles.
Pair of doubles, yeah, as you said. And that is one that's probably a single for most hitters in this lineup.
Oh, yeah.
But the speed of Torres Migliaccio picks that up, sees him rounding first with a full head of steam and fires it in. Can't get it on target. That's a little off. Torres able to slide in head first safely. Sacramento State, look away.
So Darius Foster up to the plate now with a runner in scoring position. Singled. Came around to score, popped out, and struck out today. Yeah, massive prospect haul for the Nationals. They don't re-sign Juan Soto. Well, it's going to be a little interesting.
I mean, Gray is up with the Dodgers pitching right now,
Right.
which I think is the interesting thing.
Well, I think the only reason he's up is because their pitching staff is just
Right.
tarnished.
But, I mean, with Strasburg now out for the year, Scherzer gone, see what happens with Joe Ross, etc. I mean, maybe Gray gets MLB innings with the Nationals the rest of the year regardless.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how they approach that.
So 1-0. And it's
Meanwhile, the NBA draft is also.
yeah.
I mean, what a wild night.
I'm just
all
kind-
around. You got the CRCBL Championship Series.
That's hit off the end of the bat towards the hole, and no one is going to get to that as Foster. Torres is going to come home. Oh, heads up base running from Keith Torres, and that is run number 6 of the game. So funky RBI single for Darius Foster, an infield hit, and in to score.
Yeah, so interesting how they're going to score that. Probably reached, I don't know. It's ruled an error, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is it flashed up on the scoreboard as an error. But to me, that's a base hit single for Darius Foster. The only reason it's an error is because Torres rounds third and comes home.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation there, but
as
the
I
official score is the official score, and who am I to question that?
Oh, we'll get the official score on that in a second. But yeah, I was gonna say, I'm a little bit mad as Johnson takes a strike that he went to the Dodgers and not the Padres because if
They don't need a shortstop.
Well, no, Scherzer, because the Mets wouldn't have had to face him if he got out of the NL East and went to the Padres because they already played him twice this year. But now they face him twice in a week against the Dodgers potentially. Johnson
Big swing.
goes upstairs on a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. So never can really escape Max Scherzer. The dual-eyed threat.
He is going to look good in blue.
He will.
Say
And,
that.
it's just it's just like when they got Yu Darvish a couple years ago. Now the Padres are like, what the heck? How did he slip out of our fingers like that? And the Dodgers are like, Josiah Gray. 0-2. That's a balk. And it's called, and Foster will get down to second base.
Yeah.
So, another.
the big train dugout called that before the third base umpire, Joe Del Basso, down there. Train dugout been active tonight up there on the railing. A lot of jawing going on between the two dugouts.
Helgeson balks there. Foster down to second. Write that big BK on your scoreboard, not Burger King.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. 0-2 to Johnson. Roped up the middle. Fielded by Kelly. Fires to first in time. There is out number 2. Foster down to third. So sacrifice ground out for Riley Johnson. Gets things cooking. And Matt Thomas up with a runner on third base.
Yeah, the lefty pulls it a little bit towards the second baseman, able to get Foster easily down 90 feet away from making it 7 for the big train tonight. And Foster just always finds a way into scoring position, whether it's with a stolen base, whether it's by drawing a balk, by dancing off first base in the secondary lead. Death, taxes, Darius Foster beating out infield base hits and getting into scoring position.
So here's Thomas now with a runner 90 feet away. 10 hits, and even 10 for the big train right now. Just 2 for Alexandria. First pitch right down the middle, strike 1.
Bats have been very active for the big train tonight. We've talked about this throughout the year. Sometimes they depend a little bit more on making the other team make mistakes, drawing walks, that sort of thing. But sometimes the bats are just hot.
Thomas fouls it back. Not the lengthy run output we normally see for them when they put up double-digit hits.
Yeah, I mean, 3 straight innings with a skinny run. They're just tacking on and tacking on and tacking on.
It's like a
nice
jail
little
cell.
jabs and jabs and jabs and jabs, and eventually, I'm imagining at some point they'll come through in this game with a big knockout punch. But for right now, they got to be happy with how they have Alexandria on their heels.
On the ropes is Helgeson. There we go. 1-2. I just hope the Mets can trade for somebody. I hope they get like Baez or Story or something like that. They just need a bat. That can hit
Baez said
lefties.
he wants to play with Lindor, right?
That would be a pretty good matchup. As Thomas hits one down the first base side and fell.
That's a pretty good double play
Yeah.
right there.
And yeah, while Baez does strike out a ton, the power is there. The hitting capability is there. Be a nice pickup for the Mets, I think. And if they don't have to sacrifice, top prospects for it, these guys that are in the middle of the pack, do it. Why not? Maybe get a little reliever in there too. Never gonna have enough pitching. 1-2. Breaking ball inside. Strike 3 called, and the side is retired. But the Big Train tack on another skinny run. We head to the break here on Big Train TV. But first, a word from our friends at the Dandy Walker Alliance.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Connor Offshack leads things off against Luke Baker for his third inning work. Let's see what he has for a trifecta performance as he takes ball 1 outside. 2 scoreless for Baker. Wondering who will come out of the pen first and potentially maybe finish this game out. We'll definitely see someone for 2. It's 1-0 inside. Maybe Baker goes 4. You never know. Turn things over, but certainly would be a nice way to wind things down here at home. Big Train again. There's an inside strike from Baker, 2-1. If they win tonight, would be in prime position to clinch the championship tomorrow night in Alexandria. Ben will get the call for that. If they lose that game, of course, they'll come back home for game 3. And swing and a miss, 2-2 from Luke Baker, who's just really looked solid to me tonight. He hasn't had the bad luck that he's afflicted him in the past, and he's gotten ahead of these hitters, and that's really all you can ask for. 2-2 from Baker. Ball 3, count runs full.
Maybe looking for a Matt Howitt down the line. Maybe Chris Buchholz. Be interesting.
Fouled off. Buchholz, hasn't pitched in a while.
Only 2 appearances for him. But again, a guy working back from some injury, hasn't pitched
I'm thinking
at this level in a while.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they turn it over to Carbajal for the 8th and 9th.
Maybe. It's a guy that's been more long middle relief. Couple starts. Be interesting to see what he does in the
Volkan
late
offering
inning
to
role.
Offshack, ripped into right. Cone a few steps back, comes in again and makes the catch. And that is out number 1. So a big F9 for Offshack. And here's Scotty Morgan, who has grounded into a double play and struck out.
Morgan, the first victim at the hands of Luke Baker. Baker came storming out of the bullpen with that 6'6" frame and got right after 32 in gray in front of us. Morgan looking for something a little bit better here. Rough day at the plate for Scotty so far. Grounded into that double play as he swings through the first one there.
Baker looking for another spot where he looked for another strikeout. Get Big old number 4 for 44. You know, we said his delivery, you know, I said Max Fried, but it's very similar to Randy Johnson's. You know, he said how much of an inspiration Johnson's is, but I compare him to like Max Fried as a current pitcher. But Johnson definitely, you know, he's got the height, he's got the length, and as a lefty. 0-2 now from Baker. In prime position to strike out number 4. 0-2 to Morgan. In there, strike 3 called, and Luke Baker has number 4. Number 4 for 44. And we are down to 2 outs here in the 7th.
Not at a Wendy's. Tyler, why is there 4 for 4?
Well, that's actually the biggie bag now, Ben.
No, it's 2 different things.
Is
the biggie
it?
bag's $5.
I had no idea.
Come
I
on.
honestly had no idea.
Like
and I'm sorry.
I respect your knowledge in a lot of places, but do not infringe on me when
All
it comes
right,
to the
all
Wendy's
right.
bargain deals,
All
my
right.
friend.
All right, I understand. I just thought that it was the same thing. I thought they changed the name like they did with.
They're slightly different.
They changed something else.
Both
Steven.
fantastic deals.
Ball outside. I'm trying to think of there was another place that changed the name of their like pack, like their bargain deal. And I don't know.
McDonald's got rid of the dollar menu, and it's just like the value.
High fly ball in the infield. Should be playable. Going into the outfield. In comes the center fielder Johnson. Makes the catch for out number 3. So, Luke Baker threw 3 scoreless. Exactly what the Big Train were looking for. We head to the 7th. It's time to stretch. You're on Big Train TV.
It's time to stretch.
Here's Grant Knipp to lead things off after a really impressive 3 innings of work from Luke Baker. I mean, nothing else you can really say about that. He came in and did exactly what was asked of him. First pitch from Ben Kumi, the new pitcher, is taken inside, ball 1. I mean, what more can you say about him tonight, Ben?
Just in command completely from start to finish. The one little speed bump maybe in the second of his 3 innings of work.
Yeah.
But just never wavered in his confidence, never wavered in his aggressive approach to the plate. Just went out there and got the job done as of now. We don't believe he'll be heading out there for a fourth inning.
There's strike two.
Have to see who relieves him from the pen.
A piggyback performance nonetheless, though, for Luke Baker tonight. I mean, really paired well with Jake Eddington. Just impressive. That's all you can really say.
Nip will try to work down on the drop third strike.
Not
quite.
Yeah, he's out of first. So, here in the seventh, here comes Kemp Alderman. Strikeout to lead things off. 2-3 put out.
The first baseman from Ole Miss, number 23, Kemp Alderman.
Kemp Alderman tonight, he is singled, grounded out, and grounded into a fielder's choice. Alderman walks up to Baby Shark, faces Kumi. First pitch, low, ball one, out of the glove of Stone. Kemp rips one deep to the opposite field, hooking towards the corner. It's into the foul territory and a foul ball. What a shot.
Ooh, buddy.
That
About 3 feet shy of dropping in there fair. Would not have cleared the fence. But just, man, we've seen Kemp go opposite field once or twice.
Yeah.
That was very close to being another shot off the bat there. Instead, just a very loud strike one on Kemp.
So 1-1 here to Kemp Alderman. Here's the pitch. Again, fights it off. It's 1-2. Kemp with a 1-2 count now. Delivers the pitch. Kumi fouls it off. It's been just a thoroughly insane season for Kemp Alderman, and really nothing else you can talk about.
Yeah, that's just about the best word to use for it. I mean, we showed you back in the DC series the mind-boggling RBI numbers for him. Historical, you could say.
So 1-2 now. Kemp taps it past Kumi, flips it though and fields it, and that's out number 2. 1-3 put out to retire Alderman, and here's Nolan Shanuel, who's been on base twice.
Looking for hat trick of trips to the base paths here, Nolan.
Absolutely.
Kumi started one of the games, I think the last game, that makeup game for Alexandria back here at Povich Field about a week ago.
It's a rare appearance we've seen Luke here at Povich Field,
third.
though, too, as well, because he pitched almost
Yeah.
every time in Silver Spring. Shanuel dances out of the way of ball one from Kumi.
He was telling the two of us the other night about the difficulties of facing just by, sheer luck of the turn. How he ended up facing Silver Spring 2 or 3 times to start off the year. And how that kind of affected him as well.
Tapped in front of home plate. Here is Stone. Fields it. Fires first in time. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Ben Kumi. So we head to the top of the 8th. We'll see who comes out of the pen to start things off. And we'll be back on Big Train TV. Matt Howitt delivers a first pitch ball to Chandler Kelly, the hitter. And it's 1-0 to lead things off. New pitcher coming in. He's got a new entrance song as well.
Trying to get on Darius Foster's level. Rocking to a little Dua Lipa and a baby. But Howitt this year has just been so impressive out of the College of William & Mary. Like you said, a couple of teammates up and down this roster. 7 appearances, 15 innings pitched. So we'll see if he goes 2.
That's tapped up the middle, fielded by Pepe on the long throw, and he makes the play. And that is an impressive out number 1.
Yeah, that's where you see that cannon arm that Pepe gets to use. Normally down in the hot corner, but rocking at second base tonight. Rocco, a nice play there. Working to his right, able to make the play.
Yeah, really just impressive
You're
stuff.
saying Howitt, impressive stuff as well in his own right. 1.2 ERA, just 3 runs, 2 of them earned allowed this year, and 15 strikeouts to 6 walks. Minuscule opponent's batting average as well as he starts off good swing and strike there.
Yeah, Howitt has been the bell cow of the bullpen this year, and there's no difference. I mean, he's just come in, been impressive, sub 2 ERA, nearly sub 1 ERA. 0-1 now to leadoff hitter McCray. Outside.
Yeah, there's been some movement, some changes in the back end of this Big Train bullpen. Obviously, the short stint of just Jesse Barron early in the season. Electric wipeout slider from Jesse as Howitt gets the swing and miss there to make it 1-2. But Metz has been so solid at the back end, and Howitt really quietly right up with the other 2 guys. Just working to be lights out when needed.
So Howitt has McCray exactly where he wants him. Here's the 1-2. Outside, ball 2.
And he's just a great guy to watch pitch. You know,
Yeah.
there's some guys where
And I mean,
you just really, it's kind of like watching certain guys hit batting practice. Kemp Alderman.
it's again outside, we're counting runs full, but yeah,
Just the way he works draws your attention.
and we've discussed his wind-up almost ad nauseum this year. Matt Howitt, has a very sneaky delivery.
Yeah.
He hides it. It's almost like it's coming out of his arm, coming out of his jersey. And that's really all you can ask for from a pitcher. Hit off the end of the bat into center field. Long run for Johnson, but he'll make the catch. And there is out numero dos. So there's 2 down here in the 8th.
On El Televisión de
Tren.
El Plano Grande or whatever it was you figured it out to be.
It's en la tele en tren grande.
Gracias. Anyways, when it comes to, first of all, Johnson playing a little bit shallow there, maybe expecting that sort of short pop fly ball. But with Howitt, the way he sets up, still in the windup here as he gets strike 1 in there. Slightly slanted with the feet set. Keeps that glove set low at the belt. And just keeps those shoulders almost, what's the...
Stout, taut.
No,
I don't know.
what's perpendicular,
Yeah,
I think
that's,
is the
that's,
term.
that's a good word.
Whereas kind of at 90 degrees with the front of home plate. And just keeps him all the way there. A lot of movement in that upper body. Or in the lower body. And keeps the upper body just still.
Hot potato in the on-deck circle for Garrett Farquhar as Migliaccio fouls it off 1-2. But yeah.
As you said, just really efficient at hiding the release point. Hiding what's coming from the batter. Especially for a lefty. Can make it all that more difficult.
And probably had
see how hard it's been for the Aces batters here.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and I won't even get to my point as Matt Howitt ambles off the mound with a big strike 3. Big Train still shutting out the Aces as we head to the bottom of the 8th on Big Train TV. Here's Rocco Pepe. Hey, Rocco stands into the plate now. He homered his first time up today. That's the only time he's reached base. He's facing Kumi for the first time. Big Train lead it by 6. They'll turn it over to the 9th. See who comes in. I don't know if Matt Howitt's night is done. First pitch misses. Ball
55-footer there.
We'll see if Howitt's done. I know Mets pitched 2 days ago. It wouldn't be disappointing to see Ryan Metz on the mound either. But I feel like they would try to save him to close things out tomorrow. Breaking ball, strike. Good pitch from Kumi. It's 1-1.
That would be my initial thought as well. I mean, like we said, Howard, a guy who's gone multiple innings a few times this year. No stranger to it. Not a guy who's going to be completely overwhelmed by it.
1-1 here. High fly ball into left field. This will be playable, though, for McRae. Gets there, makes the catch. There's out number 1.
Just kind of hack swing there from Pepe.
Another
a
F7.
little bit in towards the hands. Contact down towards the handle.
So, this could be the final at-bat of the Big Train in the history of Povich Field. Just kidding. They're not knocking it down. The final 2 ABs, excuse me.
It's also only one out.
As Doyle stands in now, pitch hitting for Jack Cohn. Does that mean Jack Cohn's going to the mound? You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that probably could consider as well. Get him one last pitching appearance on the season.
Pinch hitting here in the 8th.
We've already talked about Show Jack Cohn-Tani.
Show Jack Horseman.
Not even the actual Otani, I don't think, has started the day as a hitter and then come in as a relief pitcher. Not yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure Joe Madden will find a way to work that in at some point, but
there does seem to be action in the bullpen. I don't know who it is. It might just be light tossing. How it did look impressive as Doyle takes ball 2-0.
Do you have a tough angle to see the beehive down there?
I can see somebody. I don't think they're throwing hard. I think they're just. Oh no, that's Ryan Metz. Yep, that's Ryan Metz up in the bullpen.
Metz probably just getting some late work in.
He looked pretty fire, but I wouldn't. Doyle launches one deep to right field. Back goes Migliaccio. That ball is way out of here. There's number 1 for Trevor Doyle, and he absolutely smoked it. Oh!
Unloads as Doyle puts one into the trees, taking out a couple branches in the process. That ball's for the birds.
Wow. Trevor Doyle, that was loud and it was long, and he finally gets on the board. It is 7-0. Guy that hit 4 this season at Sacramento State, and we've just been waiting for him to do it. And boy, did he do it in a big way. So now, there's only a couple of guys on this squad that have not hit a home run this year.
Tyler, when is a good time for me to tell you I told you so?
Dude, I thought he was going to hit one too. I thought I said all season long
I know.
that he was going to hit one.
Just like to put it out there.
You know, and if Keith goes yard here, that's all moot. It's, did not go around. It's 1-0.
That would be pretty impressive if all 3 of the guys who have shown contact power but hadn't had the opportunity to hit a home run did it within 3 games. For those a little bit out of the loop, Tyler and I had this discussion the other night, shortly before Darius Foster went yard for the first time this season, who would be the guy to get their first big fly of the year in the playoffs. Foster the first, now Doyle the second.
Torres takes outside. Torres nearly did it today.
Nearly did it in the All-Star game a couple of weeks ago first.
Still waiting for that big long ball. Definitely has the pop. Short and stocky guy, though. Don't know who's going to pitch the 9th.
Similar to Pepe in his ability to utilize that really just solid lower body to unleash some torque and bid aloha to baseballs.
There's a mammoth home run off the bat of Doyle. It was high. It was more high than it was far. That is true.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that thing was going to stay fair. Probably just inside.
I should have said gone if it stays fair.
For reference, 6 retired numbers out in the right field corner of Shirley Povich Field. Hank Greenberg, Cal Ripken, Hunter Renfroe, Roberto Clemente, Hugh Adams, and Jackie
Torres,
Robinson.
that's not going to have the legs as it falls into shallow right. There's Kelly.
Doyle probably took out a couple branches just above Hugh Adams, the second from the foul pole.
Son of Bruce Adams.
Longest tenured Big Train player. Legend in his own
I
right.
think Metz is on his way to breaking that.
Maybe if he wasn't interrupted for a year.
The left fielder from
So rudely.
San Francisco, number 8, Darius
So here's Darius Foster, who did go yard. Very impressive. Luke Baker in command for 3 innings. Jake Eddington the same for 4. We'll see what Howitt does. If he's out for a second, I think this game is into game over territory. But if Metz is on, you already know it's the case. Thank once again everybody for tuning in tonight. Tyler Gallo and Big Train TV. Ben Bobek here as well with me. Almost forgot. Really appreciate bringing you every game this year. Swing and a miss there, 1-1. This could stand to be our last home game. We really enjoyed the confines of Povich Field. The best seat in the house by far. Best seat in the league as well.
Nothing like the warm, friendly confines. Emphasis on warm.
Warm all season long. I don't think I've sweat more than I did this year. Foster takes inside, strike 2. 1-2. Once again, if you want
It's
to
the
stay...
newest weight loss craze. Sit in a confined booth with no air conditioning in the hottest stretch of the year.
If you want to keep in touch with us after the season's over, you can follow us on Twitter at Tyler A. Gallo and at Bo_Bobek. Foster takes inside, and it's 2-2. Got to get the shameless plug in there.
Always. Appreciate all of our Big Train family especially, but all of our Alexandria family who may be joining us from afar. Happy to bring you as much of this baseball as we can.
Foster bounces one towards second. Fielded by Kelly. He gets him, and that's out number 3. So the Big Train are retired, but capped off by a long home run by Trevor Doyle to seal things out. And we'll see who's on the mound to close things out in this game. It does look like we might get a new pitcher. We'll see who comes out. But we'll be back on Big Train TV. You hear the sound of casting crowns. That means Ryan Metz takes over on the mound to close things out and looks to cast the Aces out of this game. First pitch here from Ryan Metz to Garrett Farquhar. Taken for a ball low. Metz this season has been nothing short of spectacular on the mound. You know, had a couple of hiccups, but all in all, he has been everything that the Big Train have asked for. Consummate professional on this team. This is 2-0.
Seasoned veteran.
The grizzled veteran. Man who throws 98 from both sides.
14 in the third innings for Ryan and 10 appearances.
2-0 from Metz. Outside, 3-0. Metz.
1.25 ERA. 8 hits, 3 runs, just 2 of them earned. And how about this? 19 strikeouts to 2 walks. And a 4-0 record with 1 save. Big Train have provided him with plenty of run support in late inning situations.
Yep. Takes ball 4 and a board with nobody out is Garrett Farquhar for Bobby Zmarzlak. So a rare walk we've seen from Metz, but he has the rare ability to, when he does get those self-inflicted wounds, they don't really matter to him. He just goes out there and pumps in heat, and that's really all you can ask for out of a guy that you want coming in the ninth. Mets looking to bring things home, and the Big Train looking to move one step closer to their final victory station, the one that's marked as championship for the season. Inside, ball 1, and Mets is missing a little bit here.
5 straight there.
5 straight balls, which you don't see too often from Ryan. You know, he did pitch 2 nights ago, but did sit out the effective 1 day to not pitch again, as there's a strike poured in there, 1-1. Did have a scoreless streak of 20 innings dating back to 2019 that he carried into this year. And it was a sight to behold. Swinging and a miss and a foul tip from Zmarzlak, and it's 1-2.
As you said, just that 1 appearance so far in the playoffs, back against the Grays the 27th. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and 4 batters faced.
Fouled off, and still 1-2. Nothing more you can say just how impressive the bullpen was tonight. It was really just a piggyback effort from Eddington and Baker, 2 normal starters who were looking to get their last outings into the season. As Metz checks over on the runner first. Good pickoff.
We say this every time he's out there. Metz is one of the quickest, most effective pickoff moves I've seen from a righty.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready to fire it over there.
Really makes that runner on first think, which is hard to do as a righty.
Farquhar, the runner at first, is fouled off again by Zmarzlak. Zmarzlak today has just reached base once on a walk. Got all the way to third. Only 2 base runners have gotten that far tonight. It's been that kind of, or 3, excuse me. It's been that kind of night for Alexandria, who's just been utterly silenced. 1-2 from Metz. Has the devil eyes. Here's the pitch. Grounds towards short. Going to be a tough play. Torres on the bare hand. Fires to first. Is not in time. He's safe. Torres thought he got him. So it's going to be an infield hit for Bobby Zmarzlak. And that is a tough infield hit to take.
Just clinical there on the charge. Just broken bat dribbler up the left side of the mound. Torres charging that as quick as he could, barehanding it and torching it to Alderman. But Zmarzlak just a half step faster up the first base line. And 2 guys who've been here before for the Big Train, Metz and Thomas. Having a quick chat out there on the mound with a little bit of a sticky situation here.
First and second, and nobody out for Mark Catula today, who's been aboard twice. Single and a walk. Got all the way to third on that single in the first inning, or second inning. So I don't know. Yeah, they haven't given the hit to hitter yet, but that certainly was a single to me for Zmarzlak. There's a strike from Metz.
Certainly not an error.
Metz gets in the mode where he's got a pretty intimidating presence on the mound. He does that Tyler Glasnow glove hold, very similar to him. Once he gets ready, he just stares you down. Here's the 0-1. Outside. Been a summer to remember nonetheless for the Big Train, no matter what happens. set numerous offensive records. A couple of guys set records in their own right or were on pace to shatter records had they gotten here earlier. 1-1 from Mets. Strike 2, 1-2. Catula did not like that. Jawing with home plate umpire DeAndre Anderson. Couple of homers tonight for the big train. Of course, Rocco Pepe went yard, first time at Povich Field. And then, late pinch hit home run from Trevor Doyle. 1-2. Looks back in the runner at second. Mets delivers, that's up high. Count now is tied at 2.
Mentioned that 20-inning scoreless streak for Mets. It was broken against the Aces in that game that was supposed to be a doubleheader, turned into just a single header.
So the 2-2 to Catula. Hit off the end of the bat, blooped into shallow center. That'll fall in for a base hit in front of Johnson, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. So Ryan Metz uncharacteristically loads the bases here, and all of a sudden, Aces are threatening.
Yeah, just a little bloop there in the center field. Johnson racing in. Not close enough to get that shallow dribbler.
No action behind Metz, so this is his inning. Maybe we'll get somebody up if things continue the way they have.
Plenty of room to work, though, despite having no outs. You do have a 7-run cushion.
Yeah. Swing and a miss there. Good pitch to Offshack. Gets him to go around. If you get a ground ball here, I'm sure they're fine. They're playing the infield back a little bit to concede. They'll concede a run on a ground ball.
Yeah, Alderman, the only infielder, really cheating up a little bit. Just maybe a step or two off the grass. Now he'll step on it.
Fouled off. It's 0-2, and Scotty Morgan tries to hit that in the on-deck circle as it comes off the netting.
But Shanuel, Torres, and Pepe pretty much straight up. Straight back. More at double play depth than
you'll trade.
Looking to shoot 4.
You'll trade a run for 2 outs in this situation. It's really all that matters. 0-2. Oh, buzzed him inside, and it's 1-2.
Somehow I don't think that
No intent.
there was any intent there.
No intent with a 7-run lead.
And the bases loaded.
Maybe trying to back him off the plate a little bit. That could be the case. 1-2 from Metz. In there. Fouls it down the right field side. 4 hits thus far for Alexandria. 2 in this inning. They've got the bases loaded and nobody out. Farquhar, the runner, at third. Zmarzlak at second. And Offshack in the current moment. Back up against the wall here. 7-0 lead, though. So like you said, Ben, some cushioning. Up the middle, off of Metz. He will just get the out at first, and that's a painful out, number 1, but he does get it. The run does come in to score on the sacrifice, 1-3, and the Alexandria Aces will not be shut out tonight, but there's 1 out. Metz got the ground ball he was probably looking for, and he'll go back out there. He looks to be fine. Hit him on the fat of the leg.
I think Coach Lopez just wants to have a quick check. Make sure he's all right.
Yeah, it does
Metz
look
trying
like
to shake it off a little bit.
Somebody is
Telling
up
him
in the
he's
bullpen.
fine.
I don't know who it is. Just getting up quickly just in case if he needs to. Metz took that one right off the leg.
Dr. Christy Voigt, Kaylin Condon, her assistant, athletic training staff for the Big Train. Shout out to Dr. Christie's pops. I know he's out there watching.
He is fine, and Metz will go back to the mound and look to get these final 2 outs.
Some extra words for the doc from DeAndre Anderson. Appreciating her efforts, I'm sure.
Big Train have been virtually untouchable here at home this season. Metz will do some warm-up pitches just to make sure that he's okay. They do have someone behind him in the pen, though. I'm not sure who it is. Wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the guys that normally goes in these situations.
14-4 here at Povich Field in the regular season. Alexandria does have one of those victories to their credit, but a couple more of the losses.
Number 32, Scott Morgan.
2-0 at the playoffs, 16-4 overall, if you can do that math.
So here's Scotty Morgan.
I think the worst part about that ball going off of Metz
See, he taps
That's
one.
a great look for a double play up the middle.
Right.
With Pepe probably right there.
And it's not like, oh, had he not touched that ball.
I mean, there's no option.
No, yeah.
There's
Like,
no option
there's
for
really-
Ryan.
I'm saying, like, is there certain situations where they try to field it when it comes up the middle like that, and it ruins their chances of
Yeah,
getting to?
maybe if he had apparated away the second that ball left the bat.
Yeah, there's. But no. I meant like other pitchers in
I
that
know.
situation. 0-1. Morgan takes ball 1 outside. There have been some needless run scoring because of that very situation, but Mets really had nowhere to go.
But a guy you can attack at the plate in Morgan. Not the best day for him overall at the dish.
2-1. He's got a pair of strikeouts, 1 looking and 1 swinging.
Is also grounded into a double play to end a prior Alexandria threat back in the second inning.
Not quite possible here.
Guy
It is
who
possible.
can turn that around at the
Drop of a hat.
one swing of the bat. Same thing.
Morgan's got a 3-1 count, though. We'll see if Mets, how he decides to attack him. He does swing and fouls it off. The count runs full. Matt Stone, due up next. Potential last inning at Povich
First
Field
time.
this season.
Yeah, by the way, first time we've seen an opposition bat boy, so shout out to him. Doing some great work out there. Of course, Owen out of the big train dugout. Some well-earned accolades of his own.
So, count is now full. Scott Morgan looking to reach base for the first time today, but Mets looking to send him down packet. Payoff pitch from Mets. Files it back way up there. Count is now full. Still full, excuse me.
Yeah, missed a little bit on that, just towards the tip of the bat. Reaching on a pitch a little bit away from the lefty Morgan. Good spot here for Mets. Look to get himself out of this jam a little bit more.
3-2 again. Fouls it off.
But if you're Morgan, that's the best thing you can do at the plate
Right.
is just see pitches, foul them off, make a guy who's already had to labor a fair bit through this half inning just that much more work to do.
So they'll do it again. Count is full. Runners on second and third. Both in scoring position. The pitch. Fouled back one more time. This is becoming a very
Four consecutive now, I believe.
very good turn
Cooper
AB.
Rons will deliver some fresh baseballs.
Ron's not up behind.
Probably could
Mets.
eliminate him as he pitched 2 nights ago. Maybe a guy like Buchholz in this situation.
Right. That might be who's up in the pen right now, or like Kyle Robinson. One of those two guys. I couldn't really see from here as we don't have a great vantage point. And that misses ball 4. Very close. And the bases are now loaded for Matt Stone. So, aboard for the first time via the walk is Scotty Morgan. Some fans not happy with that. Mets trying to get out of things here, though. Today, Matt Stone was retired on a very impressive play by Torres at first base, and an impressive catch by Alderman to get it down. As it's 0-1, good pitch there from Mets. Bases are loaded.
Very impressive swipe tag, as you were saying.
Hoping for the DP here to end things.
Stone a guy who can
strikeout.
elevate one as well.
Misses outside 1-1. Once again, Stone not a guy to dilly-dally with at the plate. Was an all-star this year. Has hit his fair share of homers. Want to just come in and attack. Just 4 hits tonight for Alexandria, but still threatening with the bases loaded. And a strike pours in there, and it's 1-2. So
That's the strike he was looking for on Morgan. Able to catch the black of the dish there.
So it's 1-2 now. Ryan Metz looking for a big out number 2. He's got the 1. Can he get 2 here? Chandler Kelly on deck and calling time. In the box is Matt Stone. Despite how
Stone.
long it potentially may be, it's been one of the shortest games of the year thus far. 2 hours and 53 minutes. Shortest 9-inning games. Grounded towards third. Could be 2. Sean Ewell to second for 1. Back to first, and they won't even attempt it as he's safe. Or the throw was a bit double clutched. And there's out number 2. And with Hellsbells playing, it's about time as Chandler Kelly comes up to the plate.
Now batting, the second baseman from USC Upstate, number 2, Chandler Kelly.
5-4-3 fielder's choice. He reaches on that. Out at second is Scotty Morgan. But runners on the corners again for Chandler Kelly, who's been retired all 3 times. Rips one into left field, but Foster's right there, and that is the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. The Bethesda Big Train take a 1-0 series lead here in the Cal Ripken Championship Series, and what a game it was. They dominated from some great pitching and some great hitting and really put together an all-out effort on the mound to take a 1-0 series lead.
Yeah, just getting a little sweaty down the back end, but able to strand 2 Alexandria runners, let just 2 runs in on an overall very impressive night for the pitching staff, and the offense comes through in waves. No big inning for the Big Train tonight, but they get the job done to take a 1-0 lead in this LCS series.
They're 1 game away from winning the championship, and tomorrow night in Alexandria should be a special one. Make sure you tune in for that if you're not already tuned in tonight. It should be special, but Big Train wins, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors, 2 runs, 4 hits on 2 errors for the Aces as they close things out. Luke Baker gets the win tonight, and the loss goes to Nate Young. The Big Train win it, and we'll be back for Big Train postgame in just a couple minutes.
So good evening for what could be one final time from the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth here at Shirley Povich Field. Ben Bobek and Tyler Gallo for Big Train TV postgame. Following this one, a big 7-2 victory for the Train in Game 1 of the CRCBL Championship Series. Tyler, an impressive win overall. What stood out the most to you as the Big Train again take a 1-0 series lead?
To me, it's the first two arms out of the pen, our first two arms in the game. Jake Eddington pitched 4 scoreless innings of 1 hit. Luke Baker pitched 3 scoreless innings of 1 hit. It really just shows how good this pitching can be this year. And the hitting, while it wasn't one big inning like they've had in the past, they strung together some hits. They brought in some runs, some home runs for some key moments. And that's really all that matters in this game.
Again, Baker picked up the win with those 3 very strong innings as the first arm out of the pen. Nate Young picks up the loss in his first start of the game for Alexandria. We'll see what the matchup is tomorrow night down at Frank Mann Field, 6:30 p.m. First pitch time for that, of course, will be right here on the Big Train TV YouTube channel. That's already up and live. You can see the stream. Get ready for it tomorrow night. The final line score presented by Bethesda Magazine for the Big Train. 7 runs on 11 hits, no errors, and 6 runners left on base for the Alexandria Aces. 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors, and 6 runners left on base. Tyler, your offensive player of the game. Do you have a separate pitching player of the game as well? I know you've effusively praised both Baker and Eddington for their performances.
Going over the stats, there wasn't really a guy that stood out to me too much, although I think Keith Torres, pair of doubles tonight, I can't go notice, but I think you got to go with Jake Eddington tonight for the great Bulldog start he had today. 4 scoreless innings of just 1 hit, a couple of strikeouts, really impressive across the board.
Eddington's line, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 0.00 ERA to lower his regular season one a little bit. Baker in relief, 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, obviously, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Matt Howitt with a clean inning, 1 inning pitched, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. And Mets, 2 runs, both earned, 2 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts to close the game out in style. 7-2 again, the final score. Your final thoughts on this one before we pack things up and get ready to hit the road to Alexandria for Game 2 tomorrow night.
Looking to finally dismantle the house of cards of the Aces tomorrow night at their home. It should be a fun one. If you can make it out to the bar park, say hello to us. But if you can't, make sure you tune in tonight or tomorrow night. We'll really appreciate it. But really good game tonight for the Big Train. Love to see who starts tomorrow night and see how they do as they look to win another championship here in the CRCBL.
So one more time, 7-2 the final score as the Big Train take Game 1 of the CRCBL League Championship Series. Game 2, 6:30 p.m. in Alexandria tomorrow night. Game 3, if necessary, back here at Povich Field, 7 p.m. start time for that scheduled for Saturday night. We'll see if it's necessary or not, as we said. Tomorrow, right here on Big Train TV. Good night for now. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.